नमस्ते, सत श्री अकाल, आदाब। मैं हूं अर्जुन सिंह
और मैं हूं हिमानी सिंह।
It is always going to have a nice ring to it, यार. We welcome you to yet another episode of Pocket 52 Beyond the Shuffle. Correct. जहाँ हम आपके लिए लेके आते हैं सारी लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स जो कि चल रही हैं Pocket 52 पोकर स्पोर्ट्स लीग वर्चुअल में।
और इसके पहले कि हम आगे बढ़े, लेट मी टेल यू, अच्छा पोकर खेलना कोई आसान काम नहीं है, राइट अर्जुन?
बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं।
एग्जैक्टली उसके लिए प्लेयर्स कई तरह की ट्रेनिंग लेते हैं और मेंटरिंग करवाते हैं अपने आप को फिजिकली और मेंटली डिसिप्लिन बनाने के लिए।
ऑस्ट्रिया के करीम चेली वर्ल्ड फेमस माइंडसेट मेंटर हैं। उन्होंने ना हिमानी बड़े से बड़े प्लेयर्स, छोटे से छोटे प्लेयर्स सबको गाइडेंस दी है।
When people go on a downswing, and as you said correctly, the personality starts to change because sometimes the family, they have to take care of the family with the poker money. And if you like play, I don't know, 200 hours a month, and you still lose money, you will question yourself, you will question your skills, you will question everything around this lifestyle that poker brings with it. And then the best thing that I can say is go get in touch with a mindset coach and let people help you to get out of this, because it's very frustrating for the people who are watching. I can give a good analogy to this. Imagine you're a student of a university and you know the questions of a test. Okay. You study day and night to answer every question in the perfect way. You go into the university and you write every answer to the question in the best way possible. Every answer is correct, but you still get a bad grade. Okay, you will feel like this is super unfair, right? Now imagine this 100 times in a row. You will say like there's something wrong. And this is basically what happens to poker players. And that's when a mindset coach can definitely help to get over this.
मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगी, इंडिया के जितने टॉप प्लेयर्स हैं वो भी ऐसे ही अपने आप को ट्रेन करते हैं टू गिव देयर बेस्ट टू देयर गेम।
मुझे लगता है कि अब हमें बढ़ना चाहिए हमारे सेकंड मैच की तरफ।
वेल, प्रो 1 सिट एंड गो में हमने देखे कुछ नेल बाइटिंग मोमेंट्स और अब वक्त है पॉकेट 52 पोकर स्पोर्ट्स लीग सीजन 3 वर्चुअल के प्रो 2 सिट एंड गो मैच का।
और एक बार फिर हमारे साथ आ चुके हैं हमारे पोकर एक्सपर्ट जिनको पूरा का पूरा भारत जानता है, श्रीराम चक्रवर्ती श्रीधर।
हाय श्रीराम एंड वेलकम बैक टू पॉकेट 52 बियॉन्ड द शफल।
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Absolute pleasure being here. और viewers, आप सभी लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत है।
वाओ मैन,
क्या बात है
यार माइक ड्रॉप वाली हिंदी बोल रहे हैं सर यहाँ पे। आई एम श्योर आफ्टर सच अ एक्साइटिंग फर्स्ट मैच हमारे व्यूअर्स जानना चाहेंगे कि क्या होने वाला है सेकंड मैच में। श्रीधर प्लीज एनलाइटन अस।
Just like the first match, इस sit and go में भी हर टीम से एक remaining pro player खेलेंगे।
Alright.
Let me add here, Pocket 52 Poker Sports League Season 3 virtual में हर player को 5 matches खेलने होंगे।
Alright.
ना कोई उससे ज्यादा खेल सकते हैं, ना कोई कम।
वाह भाई वाह।
चलिए देखते हैं कौन कौन खेल रहे हैं इस मैच में।
प्रोज के दूसरे सिट एंड गो मैच में सबसे पहले जो है नंबर 1 सीट पे वो है अनिर्बान दास। बताइए फिर दास बाबू के बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
Das Babu is a great player. He's been very competent, shown good scores in the online circuit. He's not afraid of playing against the other pros.
Right.
Interesting position for Das Ji because he's in seat 1. The other pros will have position over him, which means they get to see what he's doing before they can act. So that's what I mean when they say they have position over him. But irrespective, I think Anirban's going to play great.
सीट नंबर 2 पे हैं पोकर दंगल कोलकाता किंग्स के गोकुल राज धर्मराजन।
I am very confident about his chances as well. He is a very strong player.
For the Kolkata Kings, the Poker Dangal Kolkata Kings is Mr. Good Luck. Mr. Good Luck Gokul. He's just going to play solid poker. He's been doing it for a while now. He's one of those players who's usually very, very fun on the table and off it both. And we're going to see him have some fun on this table.
Go cool, always goes cool. I guess so. सीट नंबर 3 पे है बेंगलुरु लेजेंड्स के आशीष आहूजा, सेक्टर नंबर 17 चंडीगढ़।
Ashish Ahuja, yeah, he's just a beast, man. He's one of the best.
Ashish Ahuja, Rocky, as he's known. It's interesting because the Bangalore Legends, they've actually have some legends in their lineup, with Raghav Bansal being the skipper and Ashish Ahuja, who's elevated his game to a very high level over the last few seasons that many consider him to be a legend. The Bengaluru Legends are in good hands with Ashish Ahuja in this particular sit and go.
Wow, man.
और सीट नंबर 4 पे है एम्पायर गोवन नट्स के जोई साहा.
बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ मैं अपने सेकंड प्रो पे भी एंड उनका नाम है जोई साहा. आई फील लाइक ही इज गोना बी अ एक्स फैक्टर, तो मजा आएगा.
सबसे बिंदास खिलाड़ी from this particular lineup, Nuts के Joey Saha or Jay Saha as he's known. Young guy, knows a lot about poker. He's been playing at different stakes, been playing the highest stakes games, and he's not result-driven person, which means to say that irrespective of the result or the outcome, which one cannot predict in a game like poker, he's still going to do the right thing at the right time. So the Goan Nuts are going to be definitely in contention for taking this particular sit and go down with Joey in seat number 4.
Okay, 4 की बात हो गई, 5 की तरफ बढ़ते हैं. सीट नंबर 5 पे बैठे हैं दिल्ली जार्स के कार्तिक वैद.
Kartik Ved has been in the poker circuit for a long time now. Not only is he a great student of the game, he also teaches the game really well, and he's been, I believe, retained by this particular team, and he's played in this league format before. Experience in the league format definitely coupled with that experience he has in the realm of poker.
Right.
It's going to be very, very key. Delhi Stars definitely have the right player to represent them in this particular sit and go with 7 other pros there. Ved, the right choice.
आगे बढ़ते हुए सीट नंबर 6 पे है चेन्नई ट्रूपर्स के दीपक बोत्रा.
So Deepak Bothra has played in the league format before, and if the Chennai team has actually picked him to play this particular sit and go as one of the 2 pros in the team, it can only suggest that he's got some serious game. An interesting spot for Deepak because he has position on other good players. He's got position on Gokul, on Rocky, on Joey and Kartik Ved.
Right.
Let's see what happens.
चलो फिर सीट नंबर 7 की तरफ बढ़ते हैं एंड गुजरात फैल्कन्स के शशांक जैन उस पर विराजमान होने वाले हैं.
Shashank Jain will be playing the second pro category match. Obviously, we're very confident. These were our top picks, and I'm pretty sure that these boys are going to come through.
इसके बारे में आपको क्या कहना है?
Shashank Jain, aka Shanky, the one of the OGs of the game, started playing when he was very young and has been playing for well over a decade now. Fearless, on his day can absolutely rip apart any opposition. Everybody else on the table will be wary of Shanky.
Right.
और फाइनली सीट नंबर 8 पे है डेक्कन एसेस के रजत शर्मा.
रजत शर्मा पोकर स्पोर्ट्स लीग सीजन 2 के सबसे वैल्यूएबल प्लेयर थे. सबसे ज्यादा पॉइंट्स ओवरऑल सब टीम्स मिला के रजत शर्मा को सबसे ज्यादा पॉइंट्स मिला था लास्ट टाइम. और रजत शर्मा एक बहुत ही उम्दा प्लेयर हैं जो लास्ट 3-4 साल से इंडियन ऑनलाइन गेम्स में बहुत ही अच्छा कर रहे हैं. कॉन्फिडेंस ऑब्वियसली उन पे बहुत ज्यादा है.
Deccan Aces, they've got all dependable players in their lineup, and the most dependable for them over the last few seasons has been Rajat Sharma. Kunal Patni really believes in the ability of Rajat Sharma, and the reason is that he always gets it done when the team most needs it. And he's got a good seat too. He's in seat number 8 in this particular sit and go. It's going to be very, very interesting.
यार सो फार मैंने जितना भी इस महापुरुष से सुना है लगता है कि कमाल की धमासान मैच होने वाली है. सो गाइस देर किस बात की, लेट्स गेट डाउन टू द एक्शन. 3 2 1 हैशटैग खेल के दिखाओ.
10 9
8
6 5 4 3 2 1 Shuffle up and deal.
A warm welcome to everybody who's tuned in. This is the action from day 1 of the Pocket 52 Poker Sports League Season 3 virtual, and joining me in the commentary booth is my main man JD Saz all the way from Cancun in Mexico. JD जी आपका स्वागत है और viewers आप सभी लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत है.
Yeah, welcome everyone. So इस बार देखेंगे. We are playing the same schedule, right? फिर से एक sit and go है और pros आ गए हैं और धुरंधर आ गए हैं.
Right. So viewers, so the teams have been divided such that there are 8 different teams. हर टीम में से 10 खिलाड़ी है और पहला मैच जो था उसका वो उससे मतलब हाउ डू यू से इट 8 प्रोज जो खेल रहे थे सभी प्रो कैटेगरी के खिलाड़ी थे उसमें उस सिट एंड गो में और ये दूसरा जो है इसका भी सभी जो 8 लोग हैं वो भी प्रो कैटेगरी के प्लेयर है एंड एवरी टीम हैज़ 2 प्रोज. सो द फर्स्ट सिट एंड गो 1 pro from each team played and this is the second one where we again got the other pro from each of the 8 teams. JD, stacked lineup yet again. Edges super thin. What can we expect from this sit and go?
Edges super thin, but still the cream will rise to the top, and you'll get to see. इसमें edges तो कम है, लेकिन धुरंधर के भी धुरंधर कुछ लोग elites अलग ही हैं. So like one of the elites is our man from Bangalore, Ashish Ahuja. So he's one of the most consistent performers for titles in India. And he's up in a stacked lineup, but he definitely shines a lot.
Right, and a bit of this flop for everybody. Top pair to the Troopers, Kartik and Joey of Delhi and Goa respectively with a middle pair. So
yeah, पहली पोजीशन में अंडर द गन जिसे कहते हैं दीपक हैज रेज्ड एंड ब्लाइंड से ये दोनों आए हैं एंड सबने लगाया है कुछ ना कुछ फ्लॉप पे एंड टर्न हैज इवन मेड इट बेटर फॉर Kartik, who's made an open-ender straight draw. मतलब he's already made 4 cards straight, and to make a legit hand, he needs, since poker is a 5-card game, so he's trying to chase the straight down. And top pair को हराने की कोशिश चालू है कार्तिक से. Calls on the turn, doesn't improve, and it's actually Deepak who makes like top 2. So it's pretty unlikely where Kartik thinks his hand is good anymore, especially with the ace coming in. So this check is pretty much him giving up, since he doesn't expect to win right now.
right, Deepak going a little bigger on that river, but like you said, Kartik was pretty much going to give up after he had made that check and the ace rolled out on
And
the
वही
river.
बात इसलिए करी थी हमने जो पिछले सेटिंगों में की थी. अर्ली पोजीशन से आप बड़े वाले पत्ते खेलते हो, so now the board went out कि सारे बड़े वाले पत्ते पहुंच गए. अगर आपके पास किंग क्वीन था तो वो रिवर पे स्ट्रेट पहुंच गया. अगर आपके पास एस क्वीन एस किंग था तो वो एक एस पेयर बन गया. So Kartik now doesn't have a hand which beats anything. Like outright bluff 3 flops शुरू से 6-5 spades raise करके आए थे, तो वो वाली चीज है. अब 2 लोगों में इतना bluff करोगे भी नहीं आप, flop भी turn भी. So Kartik knew that he wanted to make a hand with his 10-9. अगर straight आता तो he would have played along or 2 pair लगते तो. But with that ace, he was very content to just fold it and play the next hand.
Right, one of the young guns of poker in this part of the world, JD, is Joey Saha, who hasn't played a league format before. It's his debut, and I think the Go Nuts have a great player in Joey Saha. He's opened up the action from the button with Jack 5 suited, and he's up against Kartik Ved and Deepak, who are
like
his immediate
come on,
left.
3-way, everyone's getting a lot of action. Like look at Deepak, he has a double gutter, which means 9 से भी straight है, king से भी straight है, लेकिन open ender नहीं है. लेकिन अब तो nuts है. Nuts का
Wow.
मतलब best hand possible. Kartik के 2 pairs. This is
So-
full on action.
Just like the previous hand, Joey gave up when he had flopped something, but he knew his opponents had flopped better. We could see him giving up, but Kartik on the other hand, जैसे आप बताए थे, अभी उनके पास 2 pair है, kings और jacks.
This river actually helps Kartik. Like firstly, it's a club, so Deepak no longer has the nuts. The 10 makes a straight, so Kartik's also a little bit weary about it. So he's not going to lose a lot of chips when Deepak raises. अगर normally अगर 3 of hearts आ जाता है यहाँ पर, he would have bet, Deepak might have raised and Kartik would have been like, अरे यार 2 pair हैं यहाँ पर, काफी चीजों को मैं beat कर रहा हूँ, थोड़े bluffs को. But look at Deepak realizing that Kartik doesn't have enough flushes and deciding to value raise over here and get value against a 10, क्योंकि lone 10 को Deepak हरा रहा है. Deepak has ace 10, बड़ा वाला straight.
Right. So then,
Deepak, yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned, JD, the 9 of clubs in particular, controlling the damage that could have happened to Ved's stack. So, right play, good fold by Kartik. And those of you who've just tuned in, if you missed the action from the first sit and go that featured pros from all the different teams, the first round of matchups with all the pros, the Chennai Troopers coming out on top in that, JD, with a good friend of yours, Alok Birewar, taking it down against Srihari Bang, yeah, who of the Poker Dangal Kolkata Kings, who was second, and in third from the Bengaluru Legends, Kanchan Sharma, who played really good poker, I thought. Was a great first sit and go to kick off this this league.
सही बात है, सही बात. We saw like a different style of poker from most of the players. Like जैसे श्रीहरि के पास chips आई, he was like aggressive, and then everyone had to mold themselves for how Srihari wanted the table to run. And then we saw Alok come from behind and then getting that over bet with the value hand and top pair से call off. तो काफी मजेदार चीजें देखी. यहाँ पर भी I like to come back to the hand where Kartik had 2 pairs and Deepak had the straight with ace 10. So you saw Kartik literally blocking the bet. Like he's betting कि इतना ही payment होगा अगर तुम raise करोगे. Since Deepak has Joey also behind, so it's tough for Deepak to raise non-value hands much. यहाँ पर bluff करना मुश्किल है क्योंकि 3-way है. तो कार्तिक ने लिटरली ये सोच लिया था कि अगर दीपक यहाँ रेस करता है तो he always either has a 10 or a flush only. So his pair combos would never be good. So he made it easier for himself by blocking that and then just folding. Because he just doesn't expect Deepak to bluff it in middle position with Joey also still left to be behind and can have flushes also.
Right. Let's get back to the
Sharma
action.
जी, मेरे Sharma जी ने, Rajat Sharma जी ने सिर्फ call किया. Look at him, Sharma जी. So Rajat Sharma is also a good friend of mine.
Right.
ये भी अपने Among Us group में ही वाले.
And
he decides to only call ace jack in the blinds and Deepak ने top pair लगाया है.
Yeah, and I think he's turned 2 pair with the 8 rolling out. So Deepak must be feeling pretty safe. And here we go. Rajat Sharma ji makes the call. Interesting river. The jack of hearts rolling out. It's 1 card to a straight. And he checks for a 3rd time. Deepak goes just under half pot. Actions on, Sharma ji.
He's gonna hate me that I'm calling him Sharma ji on stream, but everyone in the poker community calls him Sharma ji.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sharma ji ka ladka is making himself proud. So Rajat is thinking what hands he beats. The problem is he has the ace of diamond in his hand, which blocks Deepak having nut flush draws. So ace 5 of diamonds वाला जैसा hand नहीं है जिसको ace jack हरा रहा है. So he still pays him off though. And a good value bet by Deepak. Gets some chips from Rajat.
Right, so Deepak off to a good start.
Yep.
You've played with Deepak in the past, JD?
Yes, we've played a decent bit. Sometimes for titles, sometimes not for so much. But he's one of the most consistent volume putters in the community for sure.
Yeah, and that's the reason.
He's known for his hard work and dedication.
Yeah, and that's the reason the Chennai team has retained him. They've retained him as a pro. It's going to be interesting to see, as we have definitely a couple of people here with pretty legitimate hands.
Four-way we go.
And here we go again.
Something for everyone except Rajat.
Yeah, something for everyone except Rajat, probably. Goes check, check, actions on Ved, who was the initial aggressor, who's checked it over to Deepak.
Kartik's now look at Kartik's hands. He was a little wary कि किसी के पास इक्का हो. Now when that another ace rolls off, he's like combination aces के कम हो रहे हैं. मेरा flush draw भी आ गया है साथ में. So he's still trying to make people bet worse hands than his, like the queen, for example, which Deepak wisely does not. And now Kartik somehow ends up making the full house. Fades all the gutters. जो 10 या jack आता तो किसी का straight बन जाता. But
yeah, like
now essentially all of these guys are playing the board except Kartik, क्योंकि जो board पे है वही best hand possible है. Poker being a 5-card game, आपको best 5 combinations ढूंढने हैं. तो best 5 combinations तो board में ही है. Aces and kings with the queen kicker for Deepak and and Kartik with the full house.
So the actions on Kartik, he's just trying to figure out what he can get called by.
यही मैं सोच रहा था, like is he gonna go polarized? इसे polarized कहते हैं. भाई मेरे पास या तो full house है या मेरे पास 9s थे जो अब पूरे brick हो चुके हैं board पे, like he's playing the board. So he polarized, but no one had anything worthwhile to call him from, and he takes that pot down.
Yeah, right. The mind game's already beginning because Kartik checking, like you said, very nice check on that turn. And Deepak warily checking behind and not getting out of line. So let's just talk about the position of the seating in this particular sit and go. Anything that stands out for you? Does this seating order give anybody an edge over the other, which they usually would not have? Does it put anyone in a particular spot?
I think I personally hate myself to be on the right of Shashank Jain. He loves to get into pots. He likes to play. And when you have him in position, then it's a nightmare for you. So I feel a little bad for Deepak because he'll have to play so many pots out of position against Shashank, Shanky as he's known in the industry.
Right.
But he loves to get into pots. He puts you in tough spots. But Rajat is doing the same thing to him. He's saying, Shashank, you open a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and re-raise my queen 8 suited.
Yeah, and Gokul, who's been quiet for so long, Gokul Raj, he's picked up 8s on the big blind, decides to get out of the way of Shanky and Rajat Sharma. Actions back on Shanky, ace 3 of diamonds.
It's so tough to play 8s from that position when someone has raised and a re-raise can come in. You're not sure if you call with the 8s, maybe Shashank goes ahead and re-raises. Now you've already wasted your chips. You can't invest more. You can't flop a set anymore. So Shashank giving respect to Rajat and folding the ace 3 suited, and Rajat getting his way done with the queen 8 suited.
Yeah,
Chala rahe hain queen 8 diamonds.
Yeah, Shanky's going to see that in the stream when he goes back and views it. And Gokul's going to see it too. He's going to know what's up here. Anirban Das, who is to the left of Rajat Sharma, interestingly, he's come in instead of Akshay Nasa, who's unwell. So Anirban Das is the substitute. And Anirban Das, the other half of the power couple, which is Mahima Walia Das and Anirban. And Anirban Das can definitely play. He's
ये भी काफी titles जीते हैं, and his wife as well has won a lot of titles. So they are the power poker couple for sure, and both of them are participating in PSL. That's always nice.
So Gokul of the
ये blind versus blind hand हो गया ना, small blind और big blind.
And we saw some very interesting blind versus blind dynamics in that first sit and go too. I'm sure the blind versus blind dynamics in this one also is going to be really intriguing. Let's see what we got. Gokul's got no piece of that. He's got a 4 which he needs to an inside straight draw.
So Gokul's thinking a few more things. He was thinking on the flop, if Ashish has like any of the pairs, his 2 over cards are live, and then he needs a 4 for a straight. Unfortunate for him now, he's pretty much drawing dead, because if a 4 comes, Ashish makes a bigger straight, and if a 9 or an ace comes, it gets expensive because he makes top pair and Ashish still has trips.
True, it's a brutal spot, and like we called it, the 9 coming out, which means Ashish Ahuja will be getting some more chips on this street as well. Actions on Gokul.
Is Gokul gonna? No. So Gokul does have the ace of hearts, which means Ashish cannot have nut flushes. And Gokul, if he thinks Ashish, I don't think he'll convert his top pair into a bluff since he has the nut blocker, because this is good most of the times, the top pair. So I only see him calling. I don't see him value raising or thinking Ashish is better and converting his huge hand into a bluff as well. So pretty bad river for Gokul, I'd say.
Unfortunate run out for Gokul. Nonetheless, Ashish playing it absolutely spot on. More often than not, will get a call from another player who's got a 9 with the ace kicker too. But Gokul,
This might actually be a value raise, and does Ashish has the 6 of hearts, so he's blocking at least a heart. Ashish might just make the tight fold, although he's getting a huge price. He calls, right? He calls, wins with the trip 3s. Gokul, I think, value owned himself, where he thought he's raising top pair, top kicker over there. He was definitely not converting it into a bluff. I think if he was doing that, he would have gone a bit higher,
bit bigger,
make it more tougher. He thought he was just he wanted a call in his mind. That's what I was thinking. Like, the price was really good what he gave. There was like 1,300 more to call in that pot.
Right, so Gokul losing some chips as a result of that hand. Anirban Das been quiet thus far, picked up a legitimate hand, king queen off.
And ये hand ऐसा होता है कि इसको re-raise कर सकते हो क्योंकि ये offsuit hand है. When there are suited hands, आप flat करके खेलना चाहते हो क्योंकि आप flush possibilities होती हैं. इस hand को आप aggressively re-raise करके खेल सकते हो क्योंकि आपके opponent के पास queens और kings होने कम होते हैं. Ace queen, ace king वाले जैसे hands कम होते हैं. But problem for him is Joey Saha from somewhere behind has picked ace king
exactly
suited.
The kind of hand that you think your opponent has a very small chance of having. उनमें से एक hand है जो जोई साहा के पास है अभी, और वो है ace king suited. Here we go. He makes
There comes the 4-bet. Out of position re-raise भी थोड़ा बड़ा करते हैं ताकि अपना in position player ज़्यादा अपने को call करके position में outplay ना करने की कोशिश करे. And his 4-bet. This was the first 4-bet I think we've seen.
Right, I think you're right.
4-bet.
I think you're right. It is the first 4-bet, call 4-bet too. And I remember seeing a lot of the 3-bets being called down in that first sit and go. Nobody really respecting anyone's 3-bet. Everyone wants to see a flop. So the right laydown by Anirban, well played by Anirban. Like you said, it's very legitimate and
it's a pretty good hand. वो hand आपका ऐसा है कि आप flat करके खेलो, फिर आप अगर किसी opponent के ace queen है तो आप मतलब queen high board पे आप देते रहोगे. इससे पहले आप information निकाल लोगे, आप 3-bet करके. काफी time लोग आपको 4-bet ace queen से भी नहीं करेंगे. Then so many times you just flop पे आप bet करोगे, उनका कुछ लगेगा नहीं तो आप जीत जाओगे. So it's a positional play with that kind of speculative hand, and it's a good hand to do it with. यहाँ पर button खोला आशीष ने, and कार्तिक ने defend किया अपना big blind थोड़े से और chip डाल के, and flop पे flush draw आ गया. Flush draw का मतलब he's going towards a flush. 5 cards में flush बनता है, but he right now has 4 cards. which are all the same suit. So he's drawing towards a flush.
Right, he goes for the check raise with that flush draw.
And it's a huge flush draw as well. Queen high flush draw. ऐसा भी नहीं कि छोटा है. So gets the job done. दो काम होते हैं इस रेस के. पहले तो आपके ओपोनेंट के पास गारंटी थोड़ी है कि इक्का ही होगा. तुम मतलब पोजीशन में रेस करके आओगे और फिर बोलोगे हमेशा तुम इक्का लगा दोगे. पहली बात, you take the opportunity to take the pot down at that particular moment itself. और अगर आपका ओपोनेंट आपको कॉल करता है तो you have decent equity कि आप फ्लश बना सकते हो.
सही है.
And pressure जब आपने उसके हाथ से ले लिया, so now you are in the driver's seat, so you drive the action in the hand.
Right, Ashish Ahuja.
मतलब मुझे हाँ.
Sorry JD, go ahead.
नहीं, that the thing which I was saying was that we'll see a lot of Ashish in this Sitting Go for sure.
Yeah, he's a very busy, very busy player. Is such a fun person, such a lovable person. You know, every time I interact with Ashish, he's so nice and polite. One of the real gentlemen in the game.
And the benefits of being so polite is that you get rewarded time and time again. So now he gets rewarded with the aces.
So here we go. The gentleman with the aces, the pocket rockets for the Bengaluru Legends and Ashish Ahuja.
And now look at the image which is playing out. He's playing every hand. He's raising the button. He's raising another one. And now Shashank wakes up with jacks and is thinking, oh my God, this is a huge hand. Ashish is raising everything. This is my top, 6% of hands.
Yeah, and the thing is, when Shanky does come in with the 3-bet from the big blind, you know Shanky's going to be aggressive. He's going to be 3-betting a lot from that spot. You're not going to put him on jacks, but and it's it's going to be a real interesting hand. Let's see how Shanky sizes this one. I've lost Shanky's video. Ah, there you go. He's back. Table's been awfully quiet. Could this be the hand that breaks the silence?
I never see Shanky flatting over here.
Yeah, almost never. Almost never.
This is like the poker gods giving him the disconnect not to lose all those chess.
Wow, what a...
Like if you call about like running good, this is one spot where Shanky ran good, that he disconnected and his jacks got folded.
Wow.
This is what you call running good in life.
Wow.
Like all the entrepreneurs will also tell you sometimes there was this company where they invested and how it was a good spot to get in. That was a good spot for Shanky.
Yeah, for sure. The god saved him there. It's interesting because I can see some banter that's taking place. I can see the lips moving. I'm not able to pick up any of the sounds though from that banter. I will stick with this and see if we can get some banter. It's been awfully quiet. Here we go. So a couple of legitimate hands back in play. Under the gun, Anirban's opening it up with pocket nines. Joey Saha makes the call with 7-8 suited. And also a very defendable hand for the big blind. And Rajat Sharma. It's got queen jack off.
I'll be honest.
7-8 suited was a little speculative from like middle position. I wouldn't have minded from like the button or the cutoff. But he still has a gut shot to go along with it right now. Cut shot, like we've already said, the card in between. The 6 is what he's looking for, and the 6 is here.
Ouch.
Ouch for Anirban for sure.
Yeah, it's a brutal run out.
Yeah, it's not over.
It's not over.
Anirban can.
It's not over.
There can be a 9 on the
Yeah,
river,
it's
which
not over.
gives him a full house. There can be a 5, which gives him a full house as well. Although Joey Saha is loving his spot because Anirban is not supposed to have any of this board since he was the pre-flop aggressor. Like, he should be even more confident. Like, only hands like ace 5 suited and maybe ace 4 suited are the hands that Anirban can have, which are full houses.
Right.
Otherwise, Joe is like happy and thinking Anirban has a hand which he exactly has, like nines, tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces, and would try to extract the most out of it.
Right, so he's checked it over, Anirban, after betting out on the first two streets. Actions on Joey. Let's see if the Goan Nuts can get paid on this one.
What do you think? Big or small? Is he going to get greedy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, super greedy.
It's gone over bet. It's over bet time right now. And Anirban's in a spot. He's just
right there.
readjusted his position in the seat, had a look at that number again, and it is right, Anirban. It is a massive bet. He's gone.
And it's for all your chips.
It's for all his chips.
The problem is, it's like the bluffs which are over here are missed spades, like hands like ace 10 of spades, maybe jack queen of spades. So those are the only hand combinations which he's beating. Or hands like 6, 7, which converted their pair and blockers into something of a bluff.
Right, so the right fold by Anirban. Joey Saha not would be still quite happy though. He's made got max pretty much max value out of that hand after he flatted. That's the end of this first session of play from this second sit and go, featuring the second set of pros from each team. JD, what stood out for you thus far? Anything in particular?
What stood out for me was definitely Shashank running good, and those jacks would have been really expensive for him otherwise.
Right.
Then we're obviously seeing Ashish trying to run the table, playing his 3-6, his king 10, those aces which didn't get any action. The other one in which Kartik raised him with the flush draw, I think he had king 10. So we're definitely seeing Ashish getting in there. Joey is more than willing to put his chips to the test. He came in rightfully. We saw the 7-8 suited hand. Went off to a good start. He got the ball rolling with his ace 10 straight against Kartik's 2 pair.
Right.
And Rajat wanted to assert his dominance a little bit on Shashank when he 3-bet that queen 8 suited.
Interesting
Shashank
spot.
will remember that.
For sure, he's going to go back and watch this one. Anyway, with that note, we're going to take a short break. See you guys on the other side of this break with all the action from the second sit and go.
क्या हुआ? चौंक गए?
पॉकेट 52 पे पहले डिपॉजिट पे जब मिलेगा 5600 तक का बोनस तो हर कोई चौंकेगा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम का तत्व शामिल है और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Skill set is everything because luck you cannot rely upon. Luck is of course a factor in the short run, but skill set is the only thing that matters in the long run, because that's your level of skill is going to define how well you are doing, what your returns are on your investment, and how much money you're going to make in the long run, and how successful you're going to be as a poker player. And that's the only thing that is in your control and you can rely upon, and that's the only thing you can master and become better at, learn. And so it's not even a comparison. Like luck is just something probabilistic that exists in nature in every field, not just poker. Of course, bankroll management is something that I have noticed. Like I've played a lot of international fields, and people outside of India are a lot more aware of bankroll management and a lot more careful with their money. Somehow in Indian fields, people have no concept of bankroll management. I don't know why that is. People are playing way beyond their bankroll. They're firing 10 bullets, 12 bullets in a tournament.
Yeah, I think Rajat might not lose a lot in this hand unless he might even somehow find. There's an early position raise. All right, that's middle position of sorts, and then Karthik's. All right, he's going broke.
Here we go. Here we
My
go.
bad.
It's pocket jacks versus the pocket tens. The call from Kartik Ved. And that's
The all
that.
in moment, pocket
That's
52
that.
all in moment
Yeah,
is gone Karthik's way.
Yeah, the pocket 52 all in, the tens of Rajat Sharma, causing him to go out, and we lose the Deccan Aces. Kartik Ved, on the other hand, and the Delhi Czars have chipped up.
Yep. What I was thinking was if it was a little early in position like Joey was right now, and Karthik had a 3-bet middle position, maybe Rajat just thinks the ranges are pretty tight and the Siyama कहीं अलग तरीके से खेल लेते पर yeah, I can't blame him for that. It's so tough to play as a flat and then play out of position against two people. So he thinks he can get it through most of the time. So a little disappointed. Rajat would be a little disappointed in himself. I'm a little disappointed. He's a good friend. He's an excellent player. And
Yeah,
he's been a player of the series so many times for PSL. Last year, he was the player of the series. So he'll come back. He'll come back around. We've much to see about Rajat Sharma if the series goes on.
Right, this is interesting. Joey opening up the action from under the gun. Ved with the 3-bet, and Joey deciding to flat. He's going to call off that 3-bet. The boards run out 9-7-3. Joey checks over to Ved.
Right. So Ved's already trying to determine how the action is going to go on this table. Like, he's like, now I have the chips, so I'm the boss here. Unfortunate for him that this is the way the runout is coming, where Joey has the ace king, decides to check call, and then now the ace rolls off, which Karthik is the one who's supposed to have bigger aces since he 3-bet pre. And I definitely see him betting again, just trying to represent wo ikka. 3,300 is my guess for what Karthik is going to bet. 29, 28.
Yeah, almost 2,900.
Now, Joey is like loving this card. Why? Because there are no draws on the board. Like charo suits alag hai.
Pretty dry, yes.
He's beating every overpair. He has the best ace high. Like he has the king kicker with it. Karthik's not supposed to have ace 9, ace 7, ace 3. So he's just reeling Karthik in and hoping Karthik shoves the hand like ace jack, ace queen on the river now. And he would have a really, really easy call over here. The 9 is actually with the dynamic जो pre-flop हुआ, raise, re-raise, उसमें इतने सारे 9 के combos हैं नहीं किसी के पास भी. I think maybe Joey has more than Karthik.
Right.
तो कार्तिक अपनी अगर स्टोरी यहाँ सुनानी है कि है मेरे पास एस किंग एस क्वीन तो ऑल इन जाना पड़ेगा बट कार्तिक्स लाइक इफ ही इज कॉल्ड मी ऑन द टर्न वेयर देयर आर नो फ्लश ड्रॉस पॉसिबल तो इसके पास एस जैक एस क्वीन निकल जाएगा तो कहीं ये छोड़े ना बल्कि जोई के पास तो एस किंग था एस क्वीन एस जैक की जगह सो ही वाज नॉट फोल्डिंग एट ऑल एंड जस्ट लाइक दैट चिप लीडर बदल चुका है.
Yes, Joey Saha off the MPL going nuts is the chip leader for the moment. Still a long way to go in this sit and go. Ashish Ahuja comes along from the small with King Jack off. Ace 7 suited for Joey and Ace 10 off for Kartik, who's initiated the action.
Oh. Karthik's getting a little bit cooler of sorts over here क्योंकि Joey के पास यहाँ पर ace queen नहीं है. Sometimes he would re-raise that ace queen. So combinations दो pair के इतने कम है since Karthik already is blocking an ace. तो ये थोड़ा unfortunate flop है Karthik के लिए.
Ashish Ahuja though.
Ashish has the gut
he's
shot.
got a gut shot.
And the backdoor flush draw.
Yeah, he's got a gut shot too, a backdoor flush draw like you called it. Unfortunately for him, one of those outs. Actually, he's got it's the 10 of clubs, which is in Ved's hand.
But Ashish is never seeing a turn because Joey's gonna put the foot to the pedal over here. He's like 2 pairs per top and bottom hai. I think he tried to raise here since Ashish has come in as well.
We go there. There comes the raise. Ashish will be getting out of this easy. Not sure what Ved is planned.
Ved is in a tough spot over here for sure. टॉप पेयर लगाया है अर्ली पोजीशन से. अब जो ही एक तरह से बोल रहा है मेरे पास क्वीन 7, एस 7, जैक 10 ऑफ क्लब्स, जो मतलब रॉयल फ्लश ड्रॉ, जिसमें अगर ओपोनेंट के पास एस एस भी हो तो तभी भी आउट्स बहुत सारे हैं. कार्तिक डिसाइड्स टू कंटिन्यू. Ashish, I think, is not getting. Is he getting a good enough price? He's got to call 1800. This is what you call a brick. Brick का मतलब इस पत्ते से कुछ बदलता ही नहीं है. इस हैंड में ऐसा कुछ चेंज हुआ ही नहीं फंडामेंटली कि कार्तिक, if he thinks he was good on the flop, is not good on the turn. मान लो अगर यहाँ पर क्लब आ जाता तो कार्तिक को कभी कभी लगता है कि हाँ इसके पास फ्लश ड्रॉ इसने रेस किया हो तो फ्लश पहुंच गया है. बट ये ऐसा कार्ड है कि कार्तिक के माइंड में अगर इफ वाज गुड ऑन द फ्लॉप ही स्टिल गुड. एंड जोई इज आल्सो लविंग दिस फ्लॉप. ही इज थिंकिंग अगर भाई तेरे पास पहले से एस क्वीन क्वींस ऐसे वाला हैंड्स तो थे, पर जैसे मैं अपना फ्लश ड्रॉ खेलता जैक 10 ऑफ क्लब्स का फ्लॉप पे रीरेज करके टर्न पे डाल देता, वैसे ही मैं अपना 2 पेयर डाल रहा हूँ. अब तू सोच ले तुझे क्या करना है.
Right. I love it. I love it.
This is pressure poker right
This
here.
is absolute pressure poker, and like you called it, JD, even if he had a Jack 10 of clubs, he was going to play it this way. Of course, Ved will know something's up here. It's the second time we're seeing Joey get his stack in and putting the opponent in the cage. Kartik Ved is in the tank, and he makes the fold. Another great fold, another great laydown by Kartik Ved. He knows something's up.
Yeah. He might be like a little bit skeptic about that fold, but he'd be really happy after watching the replay of making the correct folds.
Ashish,
and also not getting trigger happy in the other hand where Joey had ace king.
Right.
I know for myself, if I am the one who's represented pre-flop and that run out comes, I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to have ace queen, ace king here. I'm going in. And then you see the other guy have ace king and you're out of there.
Yeah, it's already 2 situations now. We've seen Ved make the correct laydown. And we speak about this before. The chips you save are as important as the chips you are going to make in this sport.
Right.
It's all about knowing when you're ahead and when you're behind. It's as simple as that if it's broken down to the bare minimum. But of course, a lot of thought going into what each of these players is doing and as to why they're doing a particular thing. Let's get back to the action. On the button with Anna.
Firstly, this is just disrespectful for Ashish to get ace king on the button. मतलब वैसे भी Ashish ने वहाँ पर deuce 7 raise करना है, अब तुम ace king पड़ा दोगे उसे. It's a huge hand. Like यही बात है कि Ashish would not get the respect on the button when he picks up these huge hands. People will look down at ace 10 and think, अरे ये तो Ashish ने raise किया है. And then he shows up with huge hands. He has another hand and Anirban is raised from early position.
Yeah, Anirban after making a good fold just before we went on that break.
Is up against the same hand he folded, pocket 9s. Let's see, ये आशीष 3-bet की तरह खेलना चाहता है ये hand. दीपक के लिए बहुत आसान fold है deuces वहाँ पर and Anirban with his stack size, I think he would also let it go because वही बात है अगर आपको opponent bluff भी कर रहा है 3-bet king queen offsuit वाले type के hand से या ace queen आप dominate कर रहा है वो आपको, so वो stack size आपके पास इतनी chips नहीं है कि post flop इतना ज़्यादा खेल पाओ, so it's just better to fold. And look at him folding another hand 3s, folding because he knows he cannot play that hand from early position into so many people. Because unless he flops a set, he will never be sure about how the hand is to be played.
Right, some small to big.
सेट का मतलब, अरे अगर किसी को सेट नहीं पता तो सेट मतलब अगर आपके पास हाथ में पेयर है और नीचे वही पत्ता आ जाए तो सेट हो जाता है. अगर आपके पास एक वो पत्ता है और दो सेम नीचे खुल जाए तो वो ट्रिप्स होता है. जस्ट अ लिटिल डिफरेंस. काफी लोग कंफ्यूज कर देते हैं सेट और ट्रिप्स को.
Right, small to big action. Small blind पे है Chennai Troopers और big blind पे Gujarat Falcons. Shanky deciding.
शशांक को फ्री में चेक का ऑप्शन मिल रहा था and he has the worst hand possible in Texas Hold'em, deuce 7 offsuit. So he's like, all right, I check.
Check, and he
And,
takes a
now-
stab at it, of course. He's going to take his customary stab at it. Deepak's not going to go anywhere. He's got a spade draw, a four of diamond.
Spade flush draw, yes.
Yeah, four of diamond rolling out on the turn. Deepak checking. Over to Shanky.
So Shanky 100% knows he doesn't have the best hand. The only thing he is thinking is, does Deepak has overcards which he thinks he'll make him fold, or does Deepak has more of flush draws, which would be tougher to make him fold? There was a 5. Deepak finally makes a pair. Although look at this, Shashank has the exact blockers for straight. So the deuce 3 for the deuce to 6 straight,
Yeah.
and the 7-8 for the
5 to 9 straight, absolutely. He's
Yeah.
got the blockers.
Not gonna use them this time.
Would have been interesting.
I would have loved to see a bluff with the deuce 7 off.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if Deepak actually checked it over to Shanky on that river. That being said, Deepak picks up some more chips. He's been keeping it steady. And
Ashish picks up another hand, just a
Ashish
normal
picks
casual
up-
day of poker.
yeah, and Anirban Das this time though on the big is got ace king off. So
You know what we have to say, right? It's a pocket 52 all-in moment that's coming in.
yeah, it's definitely
It's
coming
in.
And
yeah.
Here we go. And that
Low
pocket
luck for the ace
52
king.
all in going in favor of Ashish Ahuja and the Bengaluru Legends, which means we will lose Anirban Das. Pretty standard, not much he could have done there. In
Yeah,
fact,
he has 20 big blinds, is out of position. Ashish is raising so much that he can get called by verse. And in most of the situations where Ashish has a pair, it's unlikely he has aces and kings because he's already blocking with an ace and a king. So you got to have those run your way in tournaments for sure. And unfortunately today, not so much. Ashish gathering some chips and momentum on his side as well now.
yeah, he's not much disparity between Ashish and the chip leader Joey Saha right now. Pocket jacks for Gokul. He lost a few chips early on in that first session of play, has not been involved in much of the action since. It's not going to stay out of it here. He's on the button, standard open. Ashish Ahuja is in the small with ace 9 off.
Anyone else, I would have said otherwise, but Ashish Ahuja, here comes the 3-bet. Here comes the 3-bet.
There we go. This, like you called it, JD, here comes the 3-bet. Back to Gokul. You know, it's a spot again where if he does decide to flat, then he's pretty much exposing his jacks to a couple of overcards there, which are definitely in
Yes.
Ashish's
And
range.
Jax is a huge hand, and especially in this spot, Gokul would be high-fiving and just Hollywooding a little while so that he gets called from a worse pair right now, to be
Yeah,
honest.
there we go. He lets
He
it
puts
trip.
in those chips.
He lets
Yeah.
it trip.
Now Ashish is calculating. He's got to call like 3,800. And he knows when Gokul puts it in that spot, his ace 9 is pretty much rags.
Gokul gives us a smile. And some banter ensues, I think.
Were you able to see my hand? Or you were just guessing it?
Yeah, Rocky. That's why I showed.
No.
Those two boys know a bit about each other, that's for sure. Gokul and
Yeah,
Ashish.
they have the same mentor.
Yeah.
So that's why they know a lot about each other.
Here we go, another set of pocket pairs again to our gentle giant of the legends, Mr. Rocky. He's got pocket tens. Deepak with a very defendable hand in the big blind. He's got 8-9 off. Board rolls out ace, king, deuce, 2 diamonds.
The reason I'm telling the people you're saying Deepak has a decent hand, it's just because of the price. He's already invested one big blind, only has to call one big blind. There are two big blinds, it's Ashish is raised, there's small blind in there. So he's getting the price with his hand 9-8 offsuit. Might not look the greatest of hand, but with that price, it's an amazing hand.
Right, it's gone check on all streets.
Ashish is also wary about this board, so just decides to take his showdown with the decent hand, wins.
Pocket tens, this time for Shanky. And guess what?
Shanky has not been active, and finally he's woken up with a big pair.
And guess what? Joey's got pocket six, so he's going to open this up. Ved's got ace jack suited. And Deepak's got
these guys, boys,
suited.
have a little bit of rivalry going on. यहाँ तो पहले से ही मसाला चल रहा है.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while between Joey and Ved. Ved decides to flat this time.
Kartik having the suited combo, I think he's preferred to flat. And offsuit ace jack, I was definitely sure he would have 3-bet. A tightish fold by Deepak, I'd say. Queen 10 suited, man. But correct so, since Shanky has tens behind. Shanky कैसे खेलेगा? He's not disconnecting again, is he? Shanky. No, he's not. He puts it in.
Piles it in. Easy decision for Joey, you can say. He's going to get out the way with all those chips and no need for him to be calling off.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't need to risk anymore.
Yeah.
He's already in the chip lead. He's already positioning the table the way he wants it. And the worst part about having sixes is either he's crushed by a hand like tens or he's flipping against a hand like ace queen, ace king. So he's never really like hugely ahead over here.
Right.
So he rather take the passive route. Now the problem for Kartik is his hand's under rep right now. Since he flatted, now he's got to make a decision and think how wide will Shashank go over here.
Yeah, definite
decision. As we can see the cards, we know it's exactly a flip.
Oh, he makes the call
versus the.
When I think Shanky gets there, what a run out again. Ved with the top pair on that flop, but Shanky. Turning
had the flush draw with that 10 of spades, and it's a little needle when your second pair hits and it makes a flush for the other person. He made those two pairs, but he did not want to make them since it gave Shashank the flush.
Right,
and Kartik is now a short stack with all the chips going in. For
King
him.
9 of hearts, not a bad situation when you're on that spot, but unfortunately for him again, Deepak with a monster. Has him crushed with ace king of diamonds. Here we go. He's gone in with that cute little re-raise.
4-bet. Now you see in position the 4-bets are getting smaller.
Right.
Out of position they were getting bigger.
Right.
Generally 4-bets are on the smaller side because 4-bets tend to get a lot of money infused anyway. पर तभी भी कोशिश यही होती है कि out of position और in position में थोड़ा difference होता है.
Right.
Shanky taking a good amount of time counting all his chips. He's just won. Thank you with the queen P.
Yeah, so Shanky will be getting out of this. Gokul will also not want to play any part in this, and so will. Yeah,
Joey's just trying to muscle his chips around. So
yeah, so
don't expect
Joey's getting out the way. Okay, Queen 10-10.
All in moment, pocket 52, all in moment.
No.
A really good flop for Kartik though.
Yeah, unfortunately no help for Kartik and the Delhi Stars. We lose Kartik Ved. Five players remain. It's just one of those days for Kartik where he made the right folds, played pretty much right throughout, and in the end, the rub of the felt not going his way. So we lose Kartik.
Yep.
And this is interesting, just having a look at these stacks now. 4 of these players with very similar stacks. Gokul is the shortest, and he's just one double up away from getting back in on the action with the others in terms of stack sizes. As we say,
Right.
he's got ace-king off. Joey's been opening quite a lot. He continues to do so with queen 10 off.
And Gokul yahi soch raha hai. Does he want to go for the just 3-bet shove? Does he want to 3-bet and let Joey play out of position? No, sorry, let Joey play in position. Joey lets it go, so Gokul takes that one.
Yeah, Gokul will take those chips for sure. He's happy to see a fold there too from Joey. He's just looking to quickly rebuild his stack and then make a go at this and give the Poker Dangal Kolkata Kings a victory, which they were so close to having with Sri Hari Bang in that first sit and go.
Yeah, definitely wants to put his team again in the podium. Gokul over here. Gokul is one of the Chennai boys, like I was saying in the last sit and go.
The Chennai
Gokul's
boys,
from
yeah.
Chennai, although he's playing for Kolkata.
Yeah, he's hung out with him a couple of times. We've gone partying a couple of times. Also, I like to hang out with the Chennai boys because my mom's from Chennai and all that. So Gokul and I, we get along pretty well. We talk a lot of trash to each other in Tamil. Nobody around us knows what we're saying, so that's good.
Right. So, clash of the big stacks, I think. Ashish against Joey decides to limp and play a little passively against the guy with the chip lead. I don't expect Ashish to fold if Joey raises. But that doesn't happen and they both see a flop. This is called the stab. You're just betting so that you take the pot down where your opponent doesn't have anything. Ashish does get called. Decides to check this.
Yeah, no more stabs. Joey's...
So his stab might have continued if this was like the 10 of spades, which makes him like the open-ender. So he wanted to pick up some equity to continue with his stabs because he doesn't expect Joey to actually have huge amount of aces over here. क्योंकि वो pre-flop ही वो raise कर देता शायद. But yeah. Now it's the battle of the Jack High versus the King High and the overbet with the Jack High. Just trying to represent and say, I have the 4, man. I bet the flop thinking my pair was good. I checked the turn because you called the flop and now I have trips. Overbet.
Pretty much.
Joey, can you find the King High hero?
Joey's in the tank.
Diamonds missed. Random Jack 10x, Queen X, all those are the hands he can beat, which Ashish right now has. But how can you win a pot against Ashish? Bangalore. I said I'm biased. But yeah, Joey's shown us a decent amount of poker and he's shown that he's gonna definitely put his chips to use as well. Been raising a lot, but his opponents have always been picking up ace king whenever he raises. Deepak did it, then Gokul did it.
Right, we see under the gun raise coming from Shanky and the Falcons. Jack 10 off.
This might be a misclick again, like we saw in the last
Yeah, I think it might be because you would expect Ashish, if he was going for a 3-bet, to go more in the 3x range, at least closer to the 2.7x.
Look at the price which he's getting. 280 to call in a pot which would be like 2300. So Shanky is never folding. He might even go for the 4-bet where he thinks this might be light or something like that. He does go for the 4-bet. And takes it down.
Let's get in on the banter. The guys having a laugh about it. Everybody knew that was a misclick from Rocky.
But the thing is, the misclick could have been with aces.
Wow, it would have been brutal for Shanky if he actually, figured that if he actually was to see that Rocky came in with a legitimate hand. Ace 4 suited for Rocky this time. He's in the cutoff. Decides to call Gokul's raise. Jack 8 suited for Gokul.
Yep, as the number of players decrease, you've got to widen your range. तो अब थोड़े जितनी blinds इतनी जल्दी वापस आ रही हैं, so you've got to get involved in the hands. You got to, otherwise you just keep on paying those blinds again and again. Somehow deuces अभी भी सबसे बढ़िया hand है. इस board को देखते हुए तो ऐसे लगता है कि okay, deuces are out.
Actions on Gokul.
And Gokul को भी ये flop ज़्यादा पसंद नहीं आ रहा है क्योंकि flatting range contains more queen axis. जैसे hands like queen 10 suited, queen jack suited, king queen suited. So Gokul's also not loving his spot where he's got flatted in position. And Ashish को देखो वो range advantage, वो जो range वो शब्द है पोकर में, range advantage पूरा लेते हुए कि मेरे पास queen axis हैं, मेरे पास sixes और sevens हैं जो यहाँ पर sets हो सकते हैं. Just putting he has the best hand right now, but
that is
he's
true.
moreover taking range advantage over here.
Gokul and Ashish is a great dynamic that's developing there. Gokul is to Ashish's right. Getting back to
Joey in
the
again with the
action.
2 Broadway cards. Legit race.
Shanky with ace-6 off from the small blind. He's been seeing Joey stay super busy throughout
So
this sit and
ये
go.
hand ऐसा ही हो जाता है कि अगर इसको खेलना है तो re-raise करके ही खेलना है क्योंकि ace-6 ना straight बनाता है ace-5 की तरह, ना आप 6 लगाओगे तो वो कौन सा बड़ा pair हो जाएगा. So you rather be the aggressor pre-flop और किसी ने अगर 4-bet re-raise कर दिया आपको तो छोड़ दो. पर इसको flat करके मतलब सिर्फ उसकी raise call करके out of position खेलने से अच्छा है fold ही कर दो.
Right.
So Shanky does exactly that.
Gokul with 4-6 off will decide
अब
to
ये
defend.
बोलोगे कि ace-6 fold कर दिया लेकिन 4-6 खेल रहे हो. अब 4-6 इसलिए खेल रहे हैं क्योंकि अपना 280 तो पहले से ही डाल रखा है, तो अब 280 ही और डालना है. So the price is right and you're the one closing the action. आपके बाद किसी ने कुछ करना नहीं है. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि you'll put in chips and पीछे से फिर re-raise आ जाए.
Right.
So since Gokul was closing the action, it's much more easier for him to
Right,
fall over there.
that's the advantage of being the big blind. Pre-flop, the big blind is always the person closing the action. Like JD said, no one's acting after the big blind does pre-flop. So that's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why from the big blind, very fair to put in that
Yes,
extra
in
amount.
a single race spot.
In a
अगर
single race spot.
re-raise हो गया तो वो अलग बात है, but like the basic single race spot.
Single
किसी ने
race
अगर
spot.
raise किया, yep.
The raise this time coming from Deepak of the Troopers. He's in the cutoff with 10 jack off. Shanky will decide to get out the way. Ashish Ahuja with pocket 6s.
Yeah.
Decides to mine, and the miner
And
has
he-
been rewarded. Is
Gold has been hit. Gold
Yeah,
has
he's-
been hit, and it's one of the flops you want when you hit a set. The ace out there, where people might have an ace or even want to represent the ace, and you're there with the sixes, and you're like, all right, there's nothing out there I need to be worried about.
Yeah, Ashish is just going to be more than happy to keep playing this nice and easy and let Deepak hang himself. Here we go. The 10 rolls out on the turn, which actually gives Deepak something from this board.
Now, the thing is, the 10 not rolling there and a card like 9 rolling makes Deepak more enticed to bluff. Now he has showdown. Now he's beating a hand like 6-7. So he might still value bet this and give up on the river, like take his showdown value. But instead, when he has nothing, he'd be more inclined to bluff. So Ashish is still going the passive route of just check call, setting the trap. the backdoor flush comes in.
Yeah, the backdoor flush got there. Deepak's got one club in his hand, the jack of clubs. Ashish continues to check. I think Deepak will check behind, and that's exactly what he does. So some damage control for Deepak there.
Yeah.
Pretty difficult to get
That's
away
the
if you're
thing.
Deepak.
Where he has showdown value, he'd want to check it down and see how it's going.
Yeah.
Because Ashish can also have a few flushes, backdoor flushes with like the 6-7 of clubs, which had a pair on the flop, flush draw on the turn, and flushes with like the ace also sometimes. So yeah, definitely Deepak got away a little bit cheap on that one.
Ace 4 off for Shanky. He opens it up. Gokul's on the button with quite a strong hand, five-handed. Ace 7 suited. He decides to just flat, make use of his position. Further down the road, players not picking up much. Heads up we go. 9-9 king, 2 diamonds is the board.
That's exactly what Gokul is looking to flop over here. Flush draw lagao and king Shanky की range में थोड़ा कम है, ऐसे नहीं है कि बिल्कुल ही कम है, but I think Gokul would have more suited combos of king. Let's see Gokul how he wants to play. Does he want to raise right now, but then what is he representing exactly? Or does he want to just call and play in position?
Yeah, he's getting more than 3.5:1 on his money, so it wouldn't be wrong to decide to just call. He decides to just call, and he picks up showdown
and
value
makes
too.
the 7 on the turn.
Yeah.
Now Shanky has to think what Gokul is calling him on the flop with. His hand has no diamonds in his hand. It's tough to get a double barrel here, but hey, Shanky finds it.
Yeah, Shanky finds it. That's one of the reasons why he's so difficult to play against. He's most players might have shut down there and checked. Now Gokul has got to figure out what to do, because there are a couple of things that can happen on that river.
And look at Shanky's sizing. He's sizing so that the river pot is a little bigger than Gokul's stack behind.
Right.
But he gives up right now. And Gokul would be really, really happy after seeing that check.
Yeah, he's just going to be more than happy to check behind himself. Scratching his beard, wondering what to do. There we go. He does check behind.
Takes it down.
Yeah, he takes it down, and very crucial pot for Gokul.
He's an emotional guy. I was playing once with him in a Goa tournament, and he was he was more than emotional on the table, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. He's very expressive. I understand what you're saying. I've seen him play a couple of times too, live and online. I've been sitting with him, watching him play, and he's one of those guys who is genuinely having a good time playing the game. So every run out that comes out, he's going to feel it. And but the thing with Gokul is,
I exactly asked his stablemates. I'm like, is he this like this always? What's happening over here? He's a pro. And we were needling him. Needling is a poker term where you're like, you know the answer, but you're like, you're a pro? So he took it in good fun.
He's
an emotional guy.
Yeah, sure. He's a definite pro. I've seen him play. He's got some.
He's won a huge amount of titles in the past 1 year.
Yeah, he's been in the zone. I've spoken to a couple of other pros. Say been in the zone.
I think I remember one of the titles was beating my ass out and taking it off from me itself. So yeah, he's been doing that consistently. Legit looking hands of sorts. But look at Ashish having threes facing an under the gun open.
Joey's on the button with the ace-8 of spades.
Ashish decides to call. You can mix in, I think, a few folds over here. Maybe. But Ashish is deciding to flat, trying to set mine. He has the set mining odds. The problem is there are like 3 people behind. It's not. I'm not saying it's a bad play. It's just that it's troublesome to play this hand when you're getting shorter and shorter. And that's the problem.
Right, the aggression coming from Joey, who does have position over both Gokul and Ashish. Deepak's got ace-6 off. He wouldn't want to do much with this. And Shanky also with quite an unplayable hand post-flop, and really in a 3-bet pot's not going to get funky with that. He's got queen deuce off. Will find the muck. The action will move back to Gokul Raj, and we'll see what Gokul does.
अब गोकुल के पास थोड़ा ये tough decision हो गया है. Like his hand is not the auto fold with like ace-9.
Right.
And his hand is not the auto shove with the ace-king. He's in like the no man's land. करूँ तो क्या करूँ? अगर मतलब this can be the best hand. I can still be flipping against hands like 9s and 10s. My opponent might be bluffing with a hand like king queen off and fold to my shove. So he's got so many emotions going on right now.
Yeah, and if he does call off and play, he's going to be out of position to Joey, who is going to put the pressure on him. And and interesting is
Gokul for sure.
If he does call off, then Ashish is also priced in to call, I think, to come along.
Ashish.
If Gokul does decide to call off here, it's a very tough spot to call
Ashish
off and play. But in case Gokul does decide to make the call, I doubt he's going to do it.
I don't think Gokul has an option to call. I think his only two options would be to shove or let it go.
Yeah, there we go. He does let it go.
Yeah. Playing out of position with so less chips behind, effective stack would be like 1:2, so it would be a problem. That's why either you simply say to your opponent, all right, you have it, but I think I have to go with it.
Right.
Or you just let them have it. And Joey is having a laugh over there with the dead man's hand, the ace-8. I'm liking Joey's play all the while. He's aggressive.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Joey's one of those kids, very highly rated. I've seen him play. He just has this calm demeanor, easygoing. He's been in the commentary booth with me in one of the tournaments. He just busted out at a very big moment in a big final table, and he just came back in the booth with me. Just had a matter-of-fact chat about the hand, and he said, "Yeah, that's life. That's how it goes. I'm going to be back, going to play good." And he's just one of those guys who's always playing good.
Right. Nice.
Here we go, Shanky.
The blind battle.
Yeah, the blind battle.
Ace-2 suited for Shanky, flops a flush draw. Gokul decided just to flat his king-queen off, not decide to 3-bet or 3-bet shove on Shanky's open. Shanky is pretty happy with this flop. Has the flush draw. Gokul has the 2 overcards still. Doesn't have any hearts in his hand. That might be a thing which he's thinking. If he wants to play in position, he might want a heart in his hand, which can make him a backdoor flush. Since it's both the cards are huge cards, the king and the queen. He still decides to float.
The overcard to the board does roll out. It's not a heart. It's the 10 of club. Actions back on Shanky.
Now this is the power of position which might come out when if Shanky checks. I'm
if,
not sure.
If Shanky checks, yeah. If Shanky checks, it's a big if. There we go, Shanky.
Double barrels.
Shanky's not checking.
I'm never folding to Shanky's turn bet ever again. We play often enough, never folding to Shanky's double barrel.
The thing is, Shanky has it coming on the river too more often than not. So when you're calling that turn bet, you've got to be prepared to be put in the cage on the river.
That's why I was surprised on the hand where he didn't have a diamond with the ace-4 and the king 9-9 board where Gokul had the ace-7 diamonds. I was expecting Shanky to put it in.
Right.
All right, over here makes Gokul fold. Semi-bluffing with the best hand.
Semi-bluffing, some banter.
What do you want?
Robert. I could beat 8s if I get a good card on river.
If you get a good card, huh?
Maybe I was good
Hard
at it.
flush
Thank
draw.
you. Hold on.
Hard ace high.
Good guy.
Shanky telling Gokul the truth. He said he had a flush draw, and then he said he had ace high. And Gokul also speaking the truth, saying good
Hard
hand.
hearts.
Good.
Not hearts.
Ace is good.
Would be an expensive turn if it was the King of Hearts or the Queen of Hearts for Gokul for sure. Like would have been drawing that with top pair.
Fortunately for him, it was not so.
There are too many clubs out here.
Yeah, I think there's
too many clubs.
way
The
too
Jack
many
7
clubs
of
here.
clubs, the 10 deuce of clubs, 8-4 of clubs.
10 deuce of
Everyone's going
clubs.
clubbing. Let's go clubbing. I think Ashish would give respect enough to fold the deuce 5 off.
Joey's loving it. He's getting a walk at a very, when he's the chip leader, everyone else is giving him a walk on his big blind. Actions back on Gokul. Ace 5 off. He opens it. Blinds have crept up to 200, 400.
तो ब्लाइंड्स हर 10 मिनट में बदल रही है. अभी 200-400 हो गई है. शायद पिछले हैंड में ही हो गई थी. या 5 मिनट में 250-500 हो जाएगी. सो इसीलिए इम्पोर्टेंट है कि हैंड्स यू ट्राई टू प्ले मोर हैंड्स, ट्राई टू विन दोस चिप्स, क्योंकि अदरवाइज ब्लाइंड आउट होते रहोगे. कि कंपलसरी चिप्स तो जब ब्लाइंड्स आएंगी तो डालनी ही डालनी है.
So yeah, you can't just be
Ashish is thinking.
Ashish is always thinking. He's always up to some mischief. He's got evil plans more often than not. Queen 8 suited, easy defend for Deepak, who's been out of the action for a while, just been pretty card dead. And here, he's flopped top pair. Checks it over to Gokul.
Gokul's not loving his hand, especially on this board. It's so tough to improve on this hand since he has like ace 5. Like only the ace would make him like the top pair against a pair of like a jack or a queen.
Yeah, he's taken us.
He just wants to bet here and take it down.
Yeah, he's just hoping that his continuation gets him through. That's not going to be the case. The raise coming in from Deepak and the troopers. And Gokul will be getting out of this easy.
But this is like, the raise sizing is so small by Deepak. Does Gokul want to float this? It's not the ideal hand to float. He'd rather want like ace 9 with the ace of diamonds to float than this hand which he has.
Right.
So yeah, he was like wary a little bit about why so small.
Yeah,
bro?
he's definitely wary about that raise. Ashish Ahuja is in the cutoff with Queen 8 off. Pretty much everyone in this particular hand picking up garbage. But that's not going to stop these guys from clicking away.
Shanky's definitely got premium garbage in the big blind. This is the second time he's picked up deuce 7 off.
Yeah. Ashish gets out of the way. Joey comes in. There we go. Deepak with also garbage.
Should be a quick one. Yeah.
And Joey's going to be very happy. He's got a walk, and now his raise goes uncontested. Picks up the blinds on 2 occasions. Pocket 10s for Gokul and the kings. King Jack off for the legends and Ashish Ahuja.
Are you already calling out the kings for Ashish? I know we are from Bangalore, but we can't be all out over here, bro. So Gokul with the 10s. Effectively 18 big blinds. He's got 19 big blinds. He's got 7,600 chips in total. The blinds are at 400. How does he want to play it? More often than not, this happens where you put your chips in, since 10s doesn't play really good out of position, having so many overcards to fade. And he puts the pressure back on Ashish, who pretty well decides to fold because decent amount of time Gokul has a hand like ace jack, ace king, queens maybe, which dominates his exact hand, king jack.
Actions on Shanky and the Falcons. He's got 7-9 off on the button.
This is like a learning experience. मेरे लिए ही है. I play these guys regularly enough, right? Now I get to see them what they do with whole cards. I'm gonna exploit them next time they play. They have no clue how I play. I play like a fish.
Probably next time I should just, maybe we should warp your video and also introduce you with an alias. Then they'll have no idea it was you who saw them, and you'll have a couple of notes on these guys. But that's the thing with these guys. They're just so, at a level where they can adapt their games. Anytime they think their opponents picked up on something, they start to readjust again.
Right.
And that's the reason these are the pros. And this is the Pro Sit and Go. This is day one of all the action from POCKET52 Poker Sports League Season 3 virtual. Action playing out right now, small to big. Gokul versus Ashish. It's been happening quite a lot. Two boys who have studied the game together for a while.
Mm-hmm. You can see Gokul has a hand which does not have any showdown value. But the problem he's facing is, even though this is a blind versus blind hand, his hand right now is playing really bad, and now he has to play out of position against Ashish.
Right.
And there's double flush draw. You don't know what your opponent's up to. Ashish, look at him. As the open-ender, it simply goes, all right, buddy, you didn't bet the flop. Now what are you doing on the turn? It's an undercard. It's not an overcard. There wasn't a queen on the flop and the king on the turn. It's the other way around. So what are you going over here? Speeding, are we? And catches the speeding with the jack high. Well played. Well, so he's hoping where even if Gokul gets sticky with the queen, maybe he improves or he can bluff Gokul out on some runouts.
Right.
There are two flush draws on board, so all that aspect he sometimes expects Gokul to have the flush draw and still win the pot on the river.
Right, another limp pot, small to big action. Rocky versus Joey. Ace 5-5, and Rocky's got a 5 in his hand. Ooh,
Float with king high and makes a pair on the turn. Ashish is loving his life. The board is double flush draw, so he goes for 66%. Joey now making the pair, not going anywhere.
No, Joey.
This is
not going
again an absolute example of a brick river. Deuce of spade. No suits come in, no flushes possible. Ashish goes huge, 90%. What do you want to do, Joey? This is what he's asking. Either I have flush draw miss, or I have an ace or better. He's putting Joey to the test.
Joey's expression, as I see on the feed, does suggest that may not be too profitable to call this down. He's in the tank.
Mm-hmm. So this is the part where you said the edges, right? So in this spot, Joey is thinking, how many times is Ashish bluffing me over here? And do I want to lose this small little edge where I have the pair and I fold to him and he might be bluffing? So he's got to collectively think about that.
Let's get in
a
on
few
it.
hands, decent looking bunch of hands out there.
Let's see what these guys have to say. Ashish gives us a smile.
Ashish gives us a smile, and Shanky is going to a gunfight with forks and knives. The Queen 9 suited.
Okay, King Queen off for Gokul Raj. And Ashish Ahuja is just after him. He's got Ace King off. Joey Saha on the small with Ace 10 off. Deepak will be getting out of the way because he's got 4-3 off.
The problem with Gokul is he cannot flat because the blinds are 250, 500. He only has 15 bigs. So he has to decide that is Shashank opening enough. He right now decides that Shanky might not be opening wide enough, so lets it go. Thankfully for him, if he would have shoved him thinking Shanky was opening wide enough, Ashish had a huge hand behind. So Gokul saved himself for sure.
Right, the 3-bet does come in from Rocky. He's gone 3.5x with his ace king off, picks up some dead money.
Gokul would love that discipline fold. Although it wasn't against the guy he was making, but still he'd be like, thank God I folded. Because the queen was already out. The out against ace king was a queen, and Shanky already had the queen 9. Joey again with the king 6 on the button. He likes the king 6 offsuit on the button.
Joey's, I think Joey's range on the button is pretty infinite right now with 5-handed play. He's doing whatever he wishes to, and he flops a king just like that. Shanky's decided to defend a big blind with 5-3 off.
That adventure will end now.
A really small continuation bet from Joey. It's gone one big blind, should get the job done.
So यहाँ पर let's put our guesses in because the blinds are gonna be increasing soon enough. Tell me, who do you think is gonna make it to the tally of 3?
ठीक है, आप तो मुझे spot पे डाल ही दिया. Here we go. We'll talk about this soon. He's got pocket 4s. He's piled it in Shanky. Some banter.
Gokul trying to get the live tell. Let's it go. Let's the king 3 go.
Shanky says he had a bet.
Now Gokul has the same pair. I think Shashank would decide to fold this. I think 10-8 offsuit might be a hand he'd like to raise, but 10-6 is just too disconnected. Regardless, I think Gokul might be going with his hand.
Yeah, we could see Gokul pile this in from the small. He's got just over 12 bigs.
Close to like
13
14 bigs.
13, 14 bigs, yeah. Yeah, just under 14 bigs. He might pile this in. Action's on Gokul.
Yeah, you really want to shove this hand because then you have to play out of position if you play it as a limp. So you rather with having less than 14 big blinds, just put your chips in and get your opponent to fold 9-10, which is normally just a flip against 4s. But when you make him fold, you win all the chips.
Right. Right. That being said, end of the second session of play. We're going to take a short break. As it stands, in the chip lead, Ashish Ahuja, slightly ahead of Joey Saha. And just behind them, Shashank Jain and Deepak Bothra. Gokul Raj is the short stack. 5 players remain. See you guys on the other side of this short break.
क्या हुआ? चौंक गए?
पॉकेट 52 पे पहले डिपॉजिट पे जब मिलेगा 5600 तक का बोनस तो हर कोई चौंकेगा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम का तत्व शामिल है और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Of course, the skill component is so heavy. If you put in hard work, you study, you're patient, you've got perseverance, you're just going to come out on top. Honestly, bankroll management to me is by far the most important thing that a poker player, an aspiring poker player, needs to follow. And without taking too much credit for it, I think that's one thing that I've really done well in my poker journey. I mean, although it's very easy to take shots at the bigger games and stuff like that. But and as poker players, we don't have like a life bankroll and a poker bankroll. You know, essentially our poker bankroll is our life bankroll. So I don't have a separate amount of money for running my house and a separate amount of money for my poker. So I have to kind of manage those things together. So I think I'm a lot more risk averse today than I was, let's say, 10 years back. But that's only because I've learned so much about poker in the last decade, right? And I've learned that bankroll management is just the key to be successful at this game. First thing I would say is don't quit your job. Okay, do not think that you're going to quit your job and start playing poker tomorrow. And you may be successful today. You might be making money today. You might make money for 6 months. You might make money for 1 year. But the game is evolving. The game is getting tougher. You have to keep up to date with whatever's happening. So it's not going to be easy. So don't think that, it's not easy. You obviously heard that poker is the hardest way to make an easy living, right? And that's true for a lot of reasons. So firstly, do not think that it's going to be easy. It's not easy at all. It's not a cakewalk. And once you've decided you want to do it, then dude, you have to put in a lot of effort. You have to constantly study. You have to keep up to date with what the new, with what's happening with there's so many softwares out there. There's so much that you can study. There's so much you can learn. So you have to constantly be on your toes, and you have to be right up there. I think maintain a healthy lifestyle, maintain a healthy relationship with your family, with your loved ones, and I think that also goes a long way in giving you sort of mental peace, right? Because if you're at the poker table and you're constantly thinking about something else that's bothering you, you're never going to be able to give it your best. You have to be mentally very strong, and you have to be settled emotionally also, and just everything has to be in place. Responsible poker is like I said, keeping it in your pants. Bankroll management is definitely my idea of responsible poker.
वो मुकाबला ही क्या जिसमें सामने बराबरी का प्लेयर ना हो। हाँ, पॉइंट। इसीलिए पोकर खेलता हूँ मैं, सिर्फ एमपीएल पे। यहाँ बराबरी के प्लेयर्स मिलेंगे, इसीलिए हम जैसे भी जीत सकेंगे। जीतो ऑन इंडियाज लार्जेस्ट पोकर प्लेटफॉर्म।
इस खेल में वित्तीय जोखिम शामिल है, इसकी आदत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
भैया 1 किलो आलू।
अब खाली टाइम में कुछ हट के करो। पॉकेट 52 पे पोकर खेलो और असली विनर बनो।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम का तत्व शामिल है और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Hi, I'm Shri Haribang. I'm playing for Kolkata Kings. शिल्पो खेलबो जीतबो we are Kolkata Kings.
क्या हुआ? चौंक गए?
पॉकेट 52 पे पहले डिपॉजिट पे जब मिलेगा 5600 तक का बोनस तो हर कोई चौंकेगा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम का तत्व शामिल है और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Hi, I'm Abhinav Iyer. I'm playing for the MPL Go on Nuts. Watch me play on the Pocket 52 Poker Sports League Season 3 virtual. No if, no buts. It's only the MPL Go on Nuts.
भैया 1 किलो आलू।
अब खाली टाइम में कुछ हट के करो। पॉकेट 52 पे पोकर खेलो और असली
Welcome back, viewers. This is day 1 of the Pocket 52 Poker Sports League Season 3. We're doing virtual, as you know, as a result of the pandemic. This is the second sit and go we have for you today. और हमारे साथ है जेडी सैज ऑल द वे फ्रॉम
Let's
मेक्सिको.
जल्दी घुसते हैं क्योंकि chips भी जल्दी जा रही हैं अंदर. The tens versus the ace king, and my man is dead on the turn. Shanky with his 10 set against Ashish's ace king, and finally the pair holds against the mighty ace king.
Right.
So Shanky wins a huge hand over there.
Right. So the session starts off with Ashish, who was the chip leader, I believe, or top 2 in chips before we got there. He's lost a chunk of his stack. And Shanky, on the other hand, is now the chip leader.
Rightly so.
Bottom 2 stacks, Gokul with nearly 7,500 in chips, and Ashish, who's just ahead of him with just over 8,300 in chips. Blinds, I believe, are at 250, 500
250,
still.
500,
Yeah.
and we're increasing in 3 minutes. Yep.
Right, and soon they're going to move to 300, 600.
Gokul with the hand, 14, 15 big blinds, 15 big blinds.
Ace, deuce of spades.
This is like the range which you're like, all right, I just fold this. but like if it had been a little bit better, he might talk himself into min raising, but yeah, all right. You don't want to be shoving that. Like it might be profitable, but you really don't want to. Ashish deciding to raise his ace-8, dominating Shashank with his 8-4 suited in the big blind. Shashank has the chips and it's suited, bro.
Suited tha bro, डाल दिया.
Look at the price he's getting. He's got to invest 500 to win a pot of 2,500. Since the chips he puts in, he's trying to win those as well. So a great price if he wants to come in. Shanky is not the one to take a lot of time. So I'm thinking this might be an issue somewhere on his side.
Yeah, might be an internet issue.
Normally in live poker also he plays pretty fast. So yeah, in tournaments on final tables I've seen him play very, very fast.
Yeah, I would see him defending that more often than not.
How do you start ace-8?
Joey up to his tactics, raising the ace.
Internet is working for me today.
With the queen nine.
Yeah, the jacks got folded. When I did your tens held against my ace king, you hit a side. No.
The queen X's are doing pretty good against the ace fives, aren't they? Always the board where the queen out flops the ace high.
Yeah.
Last time we saw the same exact spot where he added the ace-5 against Deepak, Gokul, and ended up losing the pot. This time round, he's got the queen, but queen is not the top card this time round. Like the queen of diamonds is such an insurance card, right? You're like, all right, if he has the king, I have outs for diamonds which can come over. Now with this card coming up, he's like, all right, the likelihood for the king has decreased a decent bit. Although he still doesn't beat the bigger queen X's, the queen 10, the queen jack, the ace queen. Joey, up to Joey to decide what he wants to do. Maybe sometimes check and represent the nut flush on a river club. Or represent the ace jack on the river 10.
The action's on Gokul. If it does go to showdown, he will be the beneficiary of a few chips.
And this is the point exactly about poker. If it goes to showdown, he wins the pot.
Right.
But will Joey let him win the pot? That is where the bluff aspect of it comes in. क्या करेगा अपना Chennai boy? He block bets. This is where you're like, all right, I can be doing this with King 10 also. I can be doing it with Queen X also. I can be doing it to induce you to raise also. I can be block betting you also. So Joey might be like, all right, maybe you're trying to induce. I don't expect him to think his ASI is good enough right now. And he might want to convert his hand into a bluff. This is the intense moment. Joey is thinking. Tell me what Joey is talking about.
If you bluffed over there, that was good. Proud of you.
Tight player, bro.
Thin value for your quads, and you had quads then, right? Tight play, huh?
Nice hand, nice hand.
Joey making the right fold and inquiring with Gokul. Gokul says he's a tight player and he's not going to be bluffing there. Right, here we go. Gokul does pilot in. Ashish Ahuja will be more than happy to let go of the spot. He's got pretty much a hand with which you can't do much. He's got 8-5 off. Gokul will pick up the big blind, retain a small blind. And the two buddies, the two study buddies are now the shortest. Deepak's there. He's still waiting. We saw Alok do this in the first sit and go where he was just waiting, lurking in the shadows and then turn the heat on. Couple of good runouts for him.
These Gujarati boys are sneaky, man. Yeah, they get in, get to the podium finishes, and then they're like, all right, we'll just take the first spot.
Yeah, they're very, very intelligent people. We know this. Here we go. Pocket deuces for Gokul. And he gets it in only to see his buddy is going to show him.
Well, ladies. It's a very standard play by him shoving the deuces. Has equity now, but no more. Queens hold for Ashish. Like the hand deuces, you don't want to play it as a raise effectively, like 20 big blinds deep, 15 big blinds deep. He just rips it in.
Right.
Ashish is like, all right, let's go.
I didn't see that.
Look at Deepak. He's coming in now, right? Look at that hand.
Here we go. Shanky's opened it up.
3-bet you, Shanky, bro.
Come on.
Gokul, I think, will make a deposit into the pot.
Here we go. Some banter coming in. This is going to be interesting. There's a good chance a king won't show up on that board. There are two kings already in some whole cards.
Triple up. More than that, maybe. Good luck.
The ace though rolls out on the flop.
I'm not sure I'm good.
And a king also rolls.
Now, GG.
There are 4 kings in the deck.
Yeah. And that's that. We do lose Gokul Raj of the Poker Dangal Kolkata Kings. We're down to 4 players, which means it's the bubble for the points they can take. The player who busts next does not take any points, got nothing to show from this particular sit and go. And Shanky's got a slight chip lead over the rest of them, but those other 3 players, all similar stacks.
Yeah. Pretty good flop for Shanky. मतलब इससे अच्छा क्या चाहिए big blind पे आप defend करो king 9 offsuit और आ जाए king 4-9. Ashish goes for a bet. देखते हैं शैंकी कैसे खेलना चाहता है, चेक रेज करके या कॉल करके. Shanky is like, Ashish, you're aggressive enough. मैं सिर्फ कॉल करेगा and I would let you bluff, and this is one of the cards which Ashish might decide to bluff at.
Right, so a card that he can definitely double barrel with, and perfect result for Shanky.
Yep, his opponent's drawing dead, and he decides to check shove, thinking Ashish might not let go of an ace on the turn. But Ashish somehow get away with it because might have put it in on the river and try to represent a few things.
Shanky gives.
Shanky let him off a little bit, I think.
Shanky with ace-3 off. He is the chip leader. He's got nearly a 2-1 chip lead on the next player. And he's going
अब
to
तो
put...
शैंकी को पूरा बस अब शैंकी इज लाइक तुम तीनों में से फोर्थ किसको बस्ट होना है मुझे बताओ. शैंकी इज इन दैट स्पॉट.
Yeah,
शैंकी जो करेगा अब इनको सुनना पड़ेगा क्योंकि ये तीनों एक तरह बैठे हुए हैं. एंड द वर्स्ट स्पॉट इज जोई हु इज सेकंड इन चिप्स बट ही स्टिल shorter than Shanky, so Shanky can bust him and he can bust out four. So it's so rough when the chip leader is on a mission and आप bubble पे बैठे.
Set to play for the win.
That's not getting folded by Shanky anymore. No, he did.
Shanky.
Just because he's a third.
We discussed about this Shanky. अपने पास chips हैं. I think he's giving respect to his opponents where yeah, he thinks Ashish might be 3-bet shoving wide enough and he can never call with the 7-5 off. So decides to instead just fold it off. The Jack-6 by Joey. How will Deepak play his ace? The ace-3. Shoves it in his face, takes it down. Time तो आ गया है बोलने का. मुझे तो लग रहा है. How do I put it?
According to Rocky, he says Shanky is destined to win the sit and go because when Rocky had aces, Shanky got his internet was glitchy and he had to let go of jacks. And in another situation where Rocky opened with ace-8 off, Shanky had 4-8 suited and he couldn't defend big blind because of the internet again. So Rocky thinks Shanky is destined to win. The action from the last 10 minutes definitely suggests that Shanky is in prime position to take it down.
Very bad. Now look at this. Normally on Button's raise with like 25 big blinds, you have fours, you'd be like, all right, I'll go all in. But now यहाँ पर वही है कि bubble spot आ गया है. So Joey has to be like, oh my god, if I shove this in and he has a hand like ace jack and decides to call me, my tournament life is on the line.
Yeah,
so he decides to play it passively instead.
Yeah, he decides to make the call and sees a flop, a kind of flop that you don't want to see when you have a hand like 4s, 5s, 6s. Let's go, does the right thing.
Joey takes it with the pair and the flush draw.
Joey, Shanky did say he was going to apply max pressure because it is the bubble, it's bubble time. And Joey responded by saying he only plays for the win. That's the kind of guy Joey is, you know, but from what I've seen him play, he doesn't back down from much. Is still in the hunt. A great pick by the Go and Nuts team. They always have such a nice lineup, this Go and Nuts team.
No one cares about points. No ACM.
The Goan team captain Dhaval Mudkar. The always jolly.
Yeah, always jolly. And all those guys in the Go and Nuts lineup too. Sid Karia, Joey Saha, Dhaval, Abhinav Iyer. I'm missing a couple of names. Radhika Shankar, I believe. Always having a good time, you know. They're the team that I call the ones who chill like villains, you know, chilling like villains always. So
Yep. And look at this play. The ace queen, he decides to just put it all in for more than 20 big blinds because Ashish has like 12 big blinds, but he doesn't want Shashank to come in there with like a mediocre hand.
Right.
And try to play a hand against Deepak.
Oh, here we go.
So
Shanky piles it in with 5s and Joey's got pocket 9s.
Joey only plays for the win.
Yeah, Joey only plays for the win.
Or as some people like to say, Joey doesn't share food. There's the 9s. They're holding till now and they hold.
And has Joey taken over the chip lead after that particular hand?
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has.
a huge hand for both of them, and another one where two people have legit holdings for their positions.
What do you have?
At pocket nines.
This
Pocket
will be
Yeah.
pretty
You can't
close for
see what the
Deepak.
cards
Let's see
are.
what he
I
decides to
saw
do for a shove for 13 bigs.
So much
I
team
think
lagged
this
again,
would come
so
into a call,
Okay.
but
that's why I
those
missed
ICM
it.
implications, those bubble boy things coming into play, where he's like,
Wow, he makes the
calls it off.
call, calls it off. We are
Needs a deuce. Ashish needs a deuce.
Oof. Again.
No bueno.
And we lose
And,
Rocky with that particular pocket 52 all in.
GG, bro.
Yep.
Deepak Bothra for the Chennai Troopers. He's there. Chennai is now taken down pole position from that first sit and go. They here also in a good situation. They're going to take away points from this sit and go irrespective of the
For
result
sure.
now.
Yep.
Great start for Chennai.
Yeah, definitely a great start, and thankful for the sponsors, Pocket 52. These guys are now playing for a decent amount of
My
points.
internet is gone,
Right,
man.
right. Shanky saying his internet's gone again. This time he's got 9 deuce off.
Look at the timing. Yeah, the internet's gone. I've got Jackson and I've got aces. I've got 9 deuce. All right, I'll fold.
Not sure if the internet's back on Shanky's end. Maybe it is. Go and check quickly. Deepak checks again.
Or is Deepak being the gentleman he is and just checking it down when it's connected? He's got to win this hand.
Let's see if he fires out a bet. There we go.
Bet.
It goes a little over 2/3 of the pot, just about 2/3. Shanky, let's go. Deepak now is the chip leader.
I told you about these Gujarat boys. Like, he's playing for Chennai, but they sneak in, man.
They
That's what America says, right?
They're definitely, it's definitely the Chennai team, both of them who've played for Chennai today. They've bided their time, chosen their spots, waited for the moment. And of course, this is not over. This is far from over. Action between Shashank and Joey there. Shashank takes that one down.
I think I remember meeting Deepak in Vegas as well. Yeah, right. And Deepak's a vegetarian, and so is my other friend Vivek Rughani. So they ended up staying in a place where they had like literally packed suitcases of Indian food and brought it along. So after a day of playing, I was like, "All right, where you guys staying? Do you mind I go down to your place? Because I know there's like tons of Indian food out there."
Tons of food. And, very similar situation with another friend of mine, Chirag Soda, or Chiggy as he's known.
Yeah.
Always has some goodies with him. His mum sending him some goodies from Bangalore even when he's in Goa. And I'm the first guy to get there, You got to get that information about who's got the goodies. So I'm just going berserk on those kakras that he's got and all the other stuff that they've got going. And some great namkeens coming out of Gujarat. And I'm always looking.
7 high versus 6 high. Who wants the pot more?
That's
the question.
That's the question. As Joey's out of position.
Mm-hmm. Who wants it more? Joey says, I do. Don't mind if I do.
He takes that down. Right, from Kakras, we're back to the topic of who is the chip leader, and it is Joey Saha.
I'm just making sure that I see I'm not, because there was a short stack. The small blind was quite short.
Yeah.
Shashank Jain with pocket sevens.
Yeah, it's not like that obvious. Like some hands would be
I generally like to play this hand like a limp shove against the chip leader who's expected to raise a lot. This works as well, but when you limp, you make the chip leader invest some chips and then fold, because you still have a decent amount of chips behind for them to be calling out not too lightly. But then I have a general basic limping strategy, so Shanky might have a straight up shoving strategy.
Right, and both Shanky and Joey picking up pretty legitimate hands in three-handed play. Queen 9 suited for Shanky. King Jack off for Joey. 2 diamonds on the board, 2 in Shanky's hand, but 1 diamond in Joey's hand.
Shanky is drawing for the flush draw. He's got the 1 over. He's got the initial aggression. So he's completely knows that Joey doesn't have a big hand in the small blind, like a huge hand. Otherwise, he would have re-raised him pre-flop itself before these 3 cards came in. Joey's like, I'm just gonna go and represent what 6s, 4s, nut flush draws. Like this board doesn't represent a whole lot when you come from the small blind. It represents a few 10x's, Jack 10 suited, Queen 10 suited, King 10 suited, maybe. Then it doesn't look that great when you check raise over here. And Shanky's like, all right, let's go. My diamonds are forever. Puts it in and makes Joey folds his hand. Like, I would have liked the check raise more on a board which is 10-9 small card rather than a 10-6-4 because you're not representing too much over there.
Right, from the small blind, Deepak decides to come along with Queen 8 suited. And I believe the worst hand out of the 3 is the one with most equity.
Most equity now.
Yes, the most equity on this deuce 5-4 board. Shanky's got a 3 in his hand.
So Shanky straight banane ki koshish kar raha hai. Since he has the 3 in his hand, so ikka eye ya 6 eye, he has a straight. He says, ये वाला जो छोटे छोटे पत्ते हैं ये मेरे पास ज्यादा होंगे तो मैं अपने आप ही aggression शुरू कर देता हूँ. I get to make hands fold like King Jack, King 10 without even getting to my straight. So.
Here we go. Ace King off for Shanky. He's facing a button open from the troopers. Queen 10 off.
Like Joey in his mind is thinking 6-3 suited है अभी मैं call करेगा और उससे पहले Shanky will do a lot of stuff that 6-3 might not get involved at all.
Yeah, Shanky's retaken the chip lead now after losing it for a brief moment there. There's no way Shanky's got his internet busted out again. No way. Has he? Because we know he doesn't take this long to make a move.
Timing is everything in life, Shanky. Here comes the internet. Here comes the 3
Yes, my screen.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Folded big hand though.
That's very unfortunate for Shashank.
And that means Joey can come along. And what a board for Joey. There we go. It's gone check, check. And now Deepak takes over the lead. He's paired his queen.
I didn't bet.
Value betting it straight up. Joey might be inclined to call over here as the gut shot for the straight. That is the 5 if that comes in. And now Deepak essentially is saying he has a queen, and Deepak decides to check. A little on the conservative side, but I can understand where he's thinking he might not get called by a hand which has just lone 6 or a 5 for a straight draw, all that combo. And sometimes Joey might have the 4 as well. And we were talking about timing. That's a bad time to come back in with a Jack 7 offsuit when your opponent has aces.
Just a bit unfortunate for Shanky. However, he will be getting away from this easy once he sees Joey Saha's response.
Here comes the re-raise. And Shanky. Shashank Jain. Let's it go.
Does let it go. 3 players remain. We started with 8 in this second pro match of the first day of play. Jack 8 suited, very openable, and Joey does so. He's gone with the standard raise of 2x. Shashank Jain with 10 deuce off.
It's called the Doyle Brunson hand because there's a poker legend called Doyle Brunson. A lot of you guys might be knowing about him. He's been playing as a pro for close to 70 years now.
Wow. He's still going strong.
And he's still going strong, and out of respect to Doyle Brunson, Shashank says, "There's my 3-bet," and that's how you do it with the 10 deuce. It's moreover Shanky अपने पत्ते नहीं खेल रहा है वहां पर. He's just saying कि जोई भाई तू बहुत ज्यादा रेस कर रहा है, तो यहाँ पर मेरे पत्ते important नहीं है. ये spot ज्यादा important है कि I can re-raise and then तू कितने hands continue कर पाएगा यहाँ से वो बहुत कम हो जाता. Battle of the Queen Highs.
Wow, and both players flopping a queen. So some chip exchange is going to happen in this particular hand.
And the worst part of it is it's a rainbow. The Queen 4 deuce. There's like no flush draws possible. And Queen 10 is still like a huge hand where the 10 kicker plays in. Like if the river is like a 4, he's still thinking like I have queens and 4s with the 10 kicker, and Deepak right now is jolly, happily value betting his queen because he expects Joey to 3-bet king queen, ace queen, all those combos. So he's pretty confident on his queen being the best right now.
Very difficult for Joey to get away from this. The ace rolling out on the river.
A card which might save Joey a little bit of chips. He might be hating it and thinking his opponent might have gotten there right now. But he was already behind. Deepak takes the route to check back his hand, has decent amount of showdown. Although I don't expect Joey to have too many ace in his hand after he calls the flop and calls the turn as well. So definitely a hand like King Queen or Queen Jack you could value bet. But then he must be thinking, what am I getting called by Burrs and points tally? So
right, so Deepak Bothra has taken over the chip lead. Joey is the shortest stack. Shanky is the busiest player, as always. Takes down that one, and he quickly retakes the chip lead. Marginal chip lead nonetheless. 6-8 off. Let's go, Shanky, the beneficiary of a walk. The blinds are at 400, 800. Will soon be going up to 450, 900.
We're soon going to be seeing the Pocket 52 all in for sure.
Yeah, we're going to be
Chips
seeing...
are going to be flying. The blinds are going to be up to 450, 900 in 6 minutes. Another Queen High board would be really rough for one of these guys for sure. क्योंकि इस रेस के लिए Deepak is always going to be defending the Queen 10. Exactly the same hand which Deepak and Joey right now played.
Wow, what a flop.
And this is a decent bit of action also. One has the open ender, which is like the 9 to Queen straight draw. A king makes a straight and 8 makes a straight. And Shashank, being the initial aggressor, has the top pair.
Yeah, top pair with an overcard to go to.
Yeah, expect money to be getting in. A little bit at least, if not all of it. Like the diamonds are the one both of them are worried about. So that's why you wouldn't expect like a lot of money going in on the flop itself.
I tell you
But
what,
you never know.
I feel Shanky's got disconnected yet again.
Ouch.
Just seems like, you know, because like you said, JD never takes this long to make a move. He's checked behind.
Yes, that is an auto check, and Deepak
Wow.
now gets in there with the straight. Deepak might be hating his life where he's like, Shanky was supposed to bet it. I was supposed to get in there where there were more chips already in. Now
There we go,
Shanky, Shashank bets. Deepak's probably gonna think this is the time to invest more chips in. Yes, he does.
And so interesting, you know, because Shanky has one of those outs. He has one of those cards that block that straight.
Yeah.
However, the diamond rolling out on the river.
And again, the question comes in, like, who wants it more? Because unless, yeah, he's gone for the block. He just wants to lose the minimum when Shanky has a diamond. But does Shanky pull out the big bluff over here with no blockers at all.
Shanky
A
decides
blocker
to
would have
fold.
been a flush, but like, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, Shanky decides to let go.
Deepak's really feeling happy opening that. He's like, I hate that river.
Six-eight suited. This time Shanky is not disconnected. He's in it. He's flopped a gut shot from 5 to 9. An overcard to the board for Joey Saha. But Queen 9-5 Rainbow is going to be firing a continuation more often than not.
And the best hand.
Yeah, and the best hand at this moment. That is right.
Shanky's thinking of options. All he's thinking is he has the backdoor flush draw as well.
He's got some backdoor outs too. He's gone in with the raise again. Second time we see Joey firing the continuation and Shanky responding with a raise. And the second time we see Joey giving up. Joey's now down to a sub 15 big blind stack. Is that right, JD? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it
and
is.
I think this is what these people have picked up in tendencies, where they've seen replays that Joey likes to continuation bet once he's the aggressor. There's not been a single time where Joey's been the initial aggressor and not taken a stab at it, at least in heads-up situations.
Right.
So that's what Shashank might be banking on. All right, this guy might be over c-betting, continuation betting on flops. Joey with the re-raise all in with the Jack Queen.
Queen 10 suited for
Fair
Shanky
fight,
on
as
the
I
big.
like to call it. Deuces versus Queen 10 suited.
Here we go, deuces, and Joey does pile it all in. It's just one of those spots,
Don't expect a call, but it's like such a beautiful hand to look down.
Looks so beautiful,
Queen
but of course, he was not going to make a call there. He's ace queen suited for Deepak. Joey with 4-6 off, but I guess he's in that spot where he's going to be he's a happier.
And sit-and goes में यही होता है, जब कम लोग बचे होते हैं, the spots moreover become 3-bet shove वाले. जो हम tournament poker में देखते हैं, सबके पास 30-40 big blinds है, तो post flop game ज़्यादा चलता है, and there is much more gameplay, which we'll see in the series ahead. But right now ये sit-and-go का structure थोड़ा ऐसा ही होता है कि the blinds keep on increasing, and then there's a lot of opens, 3-bet shoves, and all that sort.
Right, so Joey is opened. Shanky डिफेंड कर दिया है. बिग ब्लाइंड में उसके पास क्वीन 4 ऑफ है और जोई के साथ एस जैक ऑफ. इज स्टिल द बेटर हैंड.
Oh, now the queen will be good.
Here we go. Here we go. Shanky flopping bottom pair. Now his turn trips.
And essentially made Joey drawing dead, because if a queen comes which makes Joey the straight, that would give Shashank the full house.
And Joey continues to bet into Shanky. Actions on Shanky.
Just call Shanky. We can see the cards. That's why I'm like, you've got the man dead. Just call. But he's moreover might be thinking his opponent might have a king and not fold, or might have the nut flush draw and not fold.
Right.
So he decides to put it in with his trip fours. Joey not having much of it decides to just let it go.
Right, that's not a bad flop for Joey in 3-handed play. Ace, queen 4, rainbow. He's got the queen in his hand. It's going to be
the
more
25% bet by Deepak, and the reward with the king.
Ouch. So here we go. Joey's
Joey still has a gut shot for a jack.
He's got a gut shot, so it's going to be difficult for him to get away from that particular street. And on the
river, he makes the best.
He makes the better hand. So that hand swinging always. Crucial pot for Joey, because if he had lost that one, he would have been quite crippled. Deepak and Shanky with very similar stacks in that 30,000 range. Joey gets it in pretty much easy, all in for him with ace 4 off in that stack.
मैं बोलूँगा काफी fortunate हुआ जोई उस साइड में. I understand he outflopped Deepak but Deepak ने turn पे king लगा लिया. But the problem calling over there is you're essentially happy only on the Jack River where you make the straight. So he got there with the queen 10 and Deepak might be a little salty. He's like, ये कहाँ से? Shashank shoves with his ace jack on Deepak's raise with a weaker ace.
Right, this three-way battle has been going on for a bit. None of these players giving in. Pocket threes for Shanky. He's going to open the action.
And see, the difference now is Shanky cannot shove this because they are much deeper. हमने पहले देखा है deuces और ये सब shove हो रहे थे, पर उसमें blinds में लोगों के पास 10-12 big blinds थी. Right now, Deepak has 30 big blinds, so you cannot do that for 30 big blind effective.
Right. So blinds.
मतलब एक big blind चुराते रहोगे, but the one time Deepak calls you, you'll be pretty drawing dead with those pocket threes. Blind versus blind, and it's reverse domination now. Pre-flop, Deepak was dominating Shashank with the ace-7. Now Shashank's flopped the 5, the only card he needed.
Right, and complete.
Deepak's going to call because he has the exact same things. The straight draw, backdoor, and the ace of clubs, which a club could make him a flush. Shashank still value betting. Deepak still calling. Interesting river. Deepak has the nut blocker. Doesn't go for it.
Yeah, Shashank more than happy to check back.
Yep.
Picks up some chips. Is he pulling away? Is Shashank Jain is definitely
He's making space for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
He's making Ashish's prediction come closer to truth.
Yeah, Ashish was saying Shanky is destined to win it. The fortune he's had with the internet beats. But take nothing away from Shanky, he's been making the right moves always. And in fact, there were a couple of situations where he had like really good hands, way better than what everybody else had, and he was having internet issues then too. So here we go. I still can't call this one, JD. It's very, very close. Deepak's been playing solid. I've not seen him put a foot wrong. Joey, like he says, always goes for the win. And he's got a stack right now with which he's pretty much going to go get it all in anytime he sees some sort of advantage. Unfortunate for him there that he couldn't get any value from that. Just over 10 bigs for Joey Saha off the MPL going nuts. The banter has ceased between these three players.
It's all professional.
Yeah, super professional. Deepak's kept it super professional. He's not said a word, I think, since the start of the stream. It's his way of working through things, and it's working for him. He's definitely in the hunt to take some more points for the troopers who viewers have already won the first sit and go.
This hand was interesting. Deepak decided to just let go of the ace-7, was it, right? And there will be blood.
Oh, here we go. Ace-5 suited versus jacks.
Open-ender. Break.
And
jacks hold.
Joey fades on that board.
That's not something you say often enough. Jacks hold.
Joey fades, and just like that, from a 10 big blind stack, Joey's now got upwards of 20 bigs. He's back in it.
And I think he's going for the win on this one. We know what this is. Misclick. It might be a level 4 induce that his opponent thinks it's a misclick and shoves, and he snap calls with the ace jack suited.
Yeah, the last time
Shanky's done it previously with the jack 10 against Ashish. Remember that?
I remember that. And here we go. He's done it.
I think Joey's gonna call.
He's gonna call. There we go.
Yes,
he's called.
He is. Is he gonna hold? Yes, he is. And just like that, he's taken over the chip lead.
And I think Shanky
I
is
think
going to
he's
be.
got barely enough chips left behind.
I was going all in,
Yeah,
I meant
the
to go
level
all
4
in.
induce
Yeah,
worked.
I thought you were calling, so
He made his opponent think
fair
on
enough. I
level
mean,
3 where he was thinking
worked
level
out
4.
last time, right?
Or it was just
Yeah.
a normal mistake.
But last time I forward, I didn't.
Yeah, you could have flicked it back, and I don't know.
Yeah, so
Joey's got
I was probably
all
going
the
with it
chips
like
now.
23
Deepak's
bits.
in such a
Can't
tough
fold.
spot where he'll have to just rip this in and hope Joey doesn't wake up with a huge hand. He can't play it any other way.
Yeah, I didn't mean to angle or anything, obviously. It's the software.
right, Joey
All the
saying.
pressure right now is on Deepak. He doesn't want to be the guy to bust third when Shanky's so short.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
implications of that are so bad for him.
And Joey reaffirming that it was a misclick, that he was actually trying to go all in. But, well, he was put in a spot
Shashank
by.
did the job for him.
Yeah, he was put in a spot and he responded by making the right play. Shanky is now the shortest stack.
This play is outright for Deepak. He's like, buddy, I'm going all in. Shanky's got what, 7 big blinds?
Yeah.
Even less. 6 big blinds, now 6.5. Like, think of yourself in the spot where you have ace jack and George ace 8. Even if you look at it, you're like, do I want to take that spot? Where Shanky's already busting.
Here we go. Shanky's got pocket sixes. He'll just be picking up the blinds here. Deepak will not do anything out of line.
I don't think Deepak. It's like 5.5 big blinds though, but Jack 7 just doesn't play well enough.
Yeah, just.
This is so close. I have no clue. Yeah, I think that's the correct. I think Jack 9 offsuit he calls. Jack 7 is just too much. Joey would be putting it all in over here with koi bhi do patte, and why this, Joey? Balance, bro. Jo pehle ho rahe inko ye bhi. Inducing Shashank again, are we?
Shashank decides to defend and he flops middle pair.
So Shashank का game plan इस hand को खेलने का यही है. अगर किया और कुछ भी लगाया है, he's not caring about.
Here we go.
King है नहीं है, लगाया है. And that was unfortunate, but Joey having 2 overcards and the gut shots gets there, and Shashank busts out third.
Brutal.
Chip leader from 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
is out.
Is out, and that was brutal because Shanky's plan working out perfectly. He was just going to get it's going to peel off and probably get a double up if he hit the jack, and that's exactly what happened. So we're down to 2 players. One from the Troopers.
All in moment not working for him.
Yeah, one from the Troopers and one from the Nuts. We lose Shanky of the Gujarat Falcons in third. However, he's gotten them off the mark. He's going to, the Falcons picking up some points from this sit and go.
Surely they are. And Chennai are going to be adding a lot of points. And Goa is also. So I think we have 5 teams जिन्होंने अपना points आज generate कर दिए हैं, because Chennai has done it twice.
Right.
So there are 3 teams जिनका खाता नहीं खुला है. क्या कर रहे हो? They'll be coming back in a few days to get those points for sure. Joey just in his way of winning the tournament, winning the sit and go. Full on aggressive, going for the win.
Both players catching a bit of that. Ace 4-9.
Pair versus pair.
Pair versus pair. Bottom pair for Deepak, who will make the call. And 8 of diamond.
तो यहाँ पर जोई को एक चीज समझ में आसानी से आएगी कि Deepak doesn't have a lot of ace X's, जो क्योंकि वो pre-flop ही raise कर देता. So he can happily at least value bet the 9, like the bigger 9s for sure, like 9, 10 and above. Like 9, 7, he might want to sometime check.
Right.
But it's like you don't even have to think about the ace as an overcard over there, क्योंकि दीपक वो pre-flop ही ज़्यादातर time all in कर देता.
Right, so blinds at 500,000. Deepak's got 14 bigs, picked up pocket fives.
And this might be another limp to induce.
There we go.
Yes, snap call, off to the races.
He's got to fade a lot of cards, and he cannot fade. Joey gets there, picked up a lot of equity on the turn, and realizing that on the river, and Joey Saha off the going nuts takes down the second sit and go, the second pro category sit and go, and Deepak Bothra picking up some crucial points for Chennai, who've now come first in the first sit and go and finished second in the second one. And that being said,
that's a really good start for them.
Yeah,
in the Pocket 52 Poker Sports League Season 3 virtual.
Yeah, great.
That's definitely a good start for Chennai boys.
Right.
The real Chennai boys right now.
Right, and that being said, JD, thanks so much for being with us and giving us all your expert commentary. I'm sure the viewers will be looking forward to hearing more from you in day 2.
Same to you, Sri. Yeah, it's been fun, man. Like, definitely, it's been fun, and it's a long grind for us as well as the players. This is just the first day.
That's true. This is just day 1, ladies and gentlemen. Action ka shuruaat abhi to hui hai, and there's so much more to come from this third season of the Poker Sports League, brought to you by Pocket 52. That being said, it's a wrap from us here in the commentary section. See you guys later.
This game involves an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk. Participation according to state laws. इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम का एक तत्व शामिल है और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपनी जोखिम पर खेलें। राज्य के कानूनों के अनुसार भागीदारी।